All right. Hello and welcome into another episode of the Football is King podcast. Once again, still looking for that intro music. We're working on it. We got some ideas going. We're going to check to make sure we're not getting copyrighted and things like that because YouTube told us that our content was not making it to everybody. We can't have that, but we have been cruising through the views and we appreciate it. Over 4,000 views this week. We really appreciate everything, especially following on the shorts. Don't forget to, give the podcast a listen to as well. We promise we're trying to make them shorter, and they'll be shorter during the season because we're going to be starting doing 2 episodes per week. But instead of doing a theme song this week, we'll play a fun game of what are we drinking tonight, gentlemen, as we start the podcast. Shane, you may go first. You look like you're ready to go. Nice little Coors Light. We got a little Coors Light, which, gotten a lot of free advertisement here.
Coors Light gets probably the most free pub off of this show.
Yeah, would love a little of that. Cha-ching, now that we're getting thousands of views, Coors, but it's fine. And that's all.
Some Colorado Kool-Aid.
Yeah, Colorado Kool-Aid is amazing. And Blake, I saw you drinking a High Noon.
I have High Noon because that's what the hotel bar had.
There you go.
It was either that or Bud Light.
Oh, you can't be drinking Bud Light.
No, I can't have Bud. Although, as a Kansas City guy, Bud Light's not that bad, but it's not as good as Coors Light. Coors Light is the drink of choice here on the Football
Apparently in Ohio, they drink Bud Light too.
Hey, wait.
Oh, I can see that being Miller people.
Oh, yeah. Aren't they? Isn't Ohio lunch pail kind of guys?
I'm in Columbus, so probably not.
We need to talk about this before we get started. This podcast hasn't been big fans of Mrs. Mahomes, but as a white woman, you cannot miss on the fried chicken is your husband's favorite food when it is not his favorite.
Yeah. That was tough.
That was,
even if it is, and it's even worse when he says it's not actually his favorite food.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you say that, it's got to be his favorite food. That can't not be.
And it wasn't even like close. Yeah, I don't remember what his answer was, but it was not. Food. Yeah, it was not close. Which, I mean, come on, girl. Like, y'all are from East Texas. It's Tex-Mex. Like, it's got to be Tex-Mex.
That's like White Castle or something like that.
White House is the name of the school that he went to.
You're telling me a man from the White House likes fried chicken? You're kidding.
Yeah. There's only been one.
Donald J. Trump loved himself a McNugget.
Hey, you know what? While we're here, the guy checking into prison soon. So
Thursday, you'll be in my hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, checking into the penitentiary.
There you go.
He's gonna be doing the debates live from the penitentiary.
There you go. And we got a shout out to our man Blake, who's so dedicated to the podcast. He's on work trip right now in Ohio, still getting it done. And you'll notice that we are missing a member today because he's got stuff going on. So Blake's got true dedication.
That's it.
Jonathan, I threw this in here just to see if you would actually listen to 3.5 minutes of our podcast, but shame on you. But also shout out to insert redacted last name here of the friends who are having a gender reveal party right now. So hopefully that goes
weird move on a Tuesday, but that's okay. It is
Tuesday. You know what club goes up on a Tuesday? So do the gender reveals apparently. So
I'm gonna be having a gender reveal here soon.
Yeah, there we go. Are you gonna paint a horse again?
Nah.
You got horses now, so we're gonna paint one.
The baby's just gonna pop out and it's the
baby's gonna pop out.
Yeah.
We don't gender our children.
There you go. That's very progressive of you. All right.
I'm all about inclusion, baby.
I didn't answer the question earlier. I'm drinking a Whistle Pig 6-year right now. Whistle Pig, we will also accept your money as well. Anyone who would like to give us money, we will accept. Hey, if the Live Golf Tour and Saudi Arabia want to throw millions of dollars at us, we will promote.
Oh, we will be the biggest Live Golf podcast on the planet. For $100,000, I'll be the biggest Live Golf podcast on the planet.
Live Golf podcast, Saudi Arabian Pro League soccer podcast. I mean, whatever Saudi Arabia's got going on, like we don't like to sell our souls out.
Saudi Arabia's probably got the best human rights laws there is.
Yeah,
if they pay us. I mean, they're nothing better than them.
So we got that going on. So we love advertisers. All right, we got a lot of fun things to talk about today. We're eventually going to get to the NFC West and the AFC West, but a lot of things have occurred recently. And I've got just some fun questions that came across my desk as I was preparing the podcast this week. And to start off, we always like to throw a sport that's not football to start off the Football is King podcast, just for a little brevity and to show that we are well-cultured, well-rounded human beings. So I saw a thing today. No, sorry, not today. The other day. Talking about right now, I think it was put on 2K, on NBA 2K, that they had like something called the LeBron era pack or something along those lines. I didn't go into too much detail because people would say that right now, over the past, 20 years, we've been living in the LeBron era. My question is, because in my opinion, in my very limited basketball experience, and I know other people have more experience here, that they have won the exact same amount of rings, but I would say that Steph Curry has changed basketball more than LeBron James has. Why is this not the Steph Curry era of basketball? Like literally teams now just do the like Moneyball style. Let's shoot as many three-pointers. We discussed it last week. Should they not just surround Steph Curry and let him shoot an uncontested three-pointer on every possession, and would they win basketball games?
The uncrazy fact of that is that LeBron has been doing it since – people would always say longevity, right? LeBron's been doing it since 2003. Steph, what was he, 2008?
I mean, that's only a 5-year difference.
It couldn't have been that much longer.
But I will say Steph took way longer to get going in the NBA. Like I think there was talks at the beginning of Steph's career about being a bust.
Yeah.
And then he kind of came on. And
LeBron was definitely a superstar from right out the bat. It took LeBron forever to win a championship.
Yeah, I think part of it was
2011.
Yeah. I mean, he had all of his Cavs career part one and then left, right, went to South Beach. I think also the argument that like a lot of people will say, well, like Steph, he had to have KD or whatever, like all these people.
That's not true.
But I mean, it's not true because they think they would have won once before KD came.
Yeah.
But like
they set the single season win record without KD.
Yeah, LeBron needed a super team.
Wade. Yeah,
he needed a super team.
His team with the Cavs. What was it? Anderson Varejao, Daniel Gibson, Drew Gooden. I don't even know who else was on that team.
I mean, I know that like with the Cavs, he had a bunch of trash around him, but like he didn't go to like play with a bunch of. He didn't go and play with a bunch of just like random people. Like for him to win a title, he needed all 4 of his titles. He needed a superstar next to him.
And I think that's basketball these days. Like,
correct.
You can't do it. You can't. Now, LeBron was the closest recently.
Yeah.
Like doing it on his own in 2007. Honestly, like that Pistons series, he literally. I think the game 6 or 7. I think it was game 6. He scored the last 32 points of the game or whatever it was.
See, but I woig say that Giannis has legitimately won a ring without another superstar next to him. Who's the next best player on that team? Chris Middleton?
Chris Middleton is
Giga
up there.
But I mean, Chris Middleton is not a superstar.
I wouldn't say he's a superstar, but Chris Middleton is a good.
He's Giannis.
Option.
You need a good.
Giannis' Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, you need a good player, but like I would say, LeBron James has not won a championship without a superstar on his team, right?
I would agree. I mean, the Lakers.
Yeah.
The Lakers, they had Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis is a superstar.
No, but not it. He's a superstar in people's eyes, but the way he plays, not superstar.
He has the Chris Paul syndrome to me.
I mean, but Anthony Davis, talent-wise, is a superstar. He's got problems just like Chris Paul does with injuries as well. So like that, I guess you can detract that from them because the best trait that you can have is being available. But I mean, Anthony Davis. Right, we saw it when he played for the Pelicans. He's a superstar on a team by himself.
For the Pelicans, it's been so long since I've seen Anthony Davis play like a good game, I'm like, he's
true.
forgetful at best.
I mean, in the playoffs this past year, I mean, he carried them to 2 wins by himself when, everyone else was having an off day. Like there was the Anthony Davis games. He has the ability.
But those are outliers.
He does have the ability.
So
I have a hard time saying that he is a superstar because I think he has the same syndrome that Chris Paul has, where their legacies almost precede them. They're like, oh, they're supposed to be superstars, so they are. And I'm like, well, when you watch them play, are you ever like, yeah, that's the guy that won't run on my team? No, he's a great second fiddle to LeBron James.
Yeah, he also is. I mean, he's kind of getting to that point where he's kind of like, the horse that you take behind the shed. Like he's old, he's beat up. Like
he's never going to be the number one.
I mean, he's never going to be the number one guy, but on a championship team anymore. But I mean, I would put Anthony Davis way above Chris Middleton for sure.
If I was,
yeah.
If I was Giannis or LeBron on that Lakers team or Giannis in Milwaukee, and I'm biased, but here's a player that is, in my opinion, a superstar, but throughout his whole playing career never got superstar status. That is Emmanuel Ginobili. If I was Giannis or LeBron on the Lakers, I would want Manu next to me over Anthony Davis or Chris Middleton.
But that's who Chris Middleton kind of, not the way they play necessarily, but the way they fit a role.
Yeah.
Manu was so good because he played a role. Yeah. He came off the bench.
For sure.
He provided a spark.
Yeah.
Chris Middleton is going to play defense.
He was a superstar, but he never got superstar.
Chris Middleton is not going to score on his own. He's going to hit open shots. He's going to play defense.
There will be a game every once in a while where Chris Middleton will, score 42 points or something like that. Like he'll have his game, but then on average he's a very, very good basketball player.
He plays
averages 19, 20 points.
But I think that's an underrated in the NBA these days. I think that is a totally underrated trait of a player. They want everyone to be on the ball, shooting, whatever, one-on-one shots.
No, but you need a guy that will just.
Chris Middleton is going to get open because Giannis is going to drive to the hoop and he's going to be standing on the wing wide open and he's going to hit that shot.
I think if I am an NBA GM, I want 2 superstars who can be. I mean. Bad example, but just the scoring ability of like a James Harden who's going to average 30 points or whatever. I don't want James Harden, but he's going to average. You want a guy that's going to possibly average close to 30, a guy who can average close to 20, and then I want 3 defensive just juggernauts who can hit the open shot, right? You're Alex Caruso, who's going to just lock somebody down. Yep. Who's a decent 3-point shooter and also can drive the lane, shoot decent free throws. I mean, like those are the guys that I want. And I want a 6th man who can come off the bench and also, score decently.
There's a team that.
I was going to say the Lakers and the Bucks kind of proved like in the NBA, they beat these teams like the Nets that tried to assemble a super team. They beat like all these teams that you would consider super teams. And the Lakers, debatable because they had LeBron and Anthony Davis. But name who they had around them. They had Alex Caruso. They had Caldwell Pope. They didn't have anyone else that was any good, really, but they had guys that played their role. Same with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Alex Caruso was on a 2-way contract, wasn't he?
No, not the year they won the title.
No.
See, he was for the first 2 years there.
My problem with the Bucks Nets argument, I honestly do like if you look at the roster of the Nets, they are a better basketball team. The problem is the Nets do not have a single person who is physical enough to handle Giannis. And when you watch them play the Nets, like Giannis will score 50 every time they play each other because KD is the only person that's tall enough, but KD weighs 100 pounds less. I don't know, a ton less, and just Giannis bulldozes him all night.
Plus you have it's the same with LeBron's Cavs, right? Where they don't have anyone physical enough to guard him. He goes to the hoop. They have to double team. Well, guess what? Chris Middleton's going to hit an open shot.
Yeah.
Pat Connaughton apparently was going to hit an open shot. I don't even remember who else was on that team. Same thing with LeBron in Cleveland. Matthew Dellavedova was a good player in Cleveland because LeBron made him a good player.
Yeah, same reason why the Nuggets win the championship this year because no one can handle the Joker.
Yeah.
And they have guys around who,
He doesn't
if you
even like
put
playing basketball.
no, yeah, but if you put everyone around trying to stop him, then he's just going to dish it out to someone who's wide open. And even if that guy is shooting 40% from the 3-point line, y'all are going to dominate because,
Yeah.
he's getting uncontested 3 after uncontested 3.
Bruce Bowen, Steven Jackson with the Spurs.
Yep.
That's all they did.
Yeah.
Sit at open threes.
But Bruce Bowen did his right. So you need your
But he
guy
locked
who
down
is
on
a
defense.
3-point lock, but who also just plays amazing defense.
Yep.
Yeah, because he would sit in that corner on offense. He would lock you down on defense and then just sit in that corner and wait for you to drift away.
Yeah.
They'd find him and boop, bye.
Like, could you imagine if Reggie Miller played in today's NBA with like a superstar like LeBron? Like that defense and that length and that 3-point shooting ability. Like Ray Allen would be fun to watch now too, but like his defense not as good. So that's why I thought of Reggie. But
the funny part about the Ray Allen Reggie thing is like everyone talks about how good Ray Allen was as a shooter. Well, Reggie Miller did that, but he was the number one option.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh, but watching Ray Allen just had like the purest form, I feel like.
He did, but he would have never done that like when he was on the Sonics, right?
Yeah.
The Sonics never were threatening for a title, really. He goes to Boston. He's a great player in Boston because they have Paul Pierce, KG. He goes to Miami. He's a good player because they have LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
You got to fill a role. Make millions of dollars filling that role, too, if you're willing to do it.
So that's my argument on the whole thing of I think that it could honestly be called the Steph Curry era because they've got similar clout when it comes to like the rings debate, if you want to do that. But I just think that Steph Curry has done more to change the game of basketball than LeBron James has in his career.
If you look at the kids shooting balls, they're all shooting threes for a reason.
Yep. Everyone's just looking. And so there we go. All right. That's 15 minutes on basketball. We can't be doing that. We're going to go way over. All right. We got other big news. It's time for football. Here we go. The rest of the podcast, all football. So I'll try to remember to put out in the tweet tomorrow to skip to 17 minutes into the podcast because that is when football starts. There we go. Boom. Something incredible happened last night or 2 nights ago. I don't remember when it was. The greatest sports streak that has ever existed came to an end. And that is that the Baltimore Ravens lost a preseason football game. This stat is ridiculous. Like, no one cares about preseason football. Teams do not try. It's all about whose backups are better than their backups and their fourth string and these guys on the roster. And they somehow have not lost a game since September of 2015. 24 straight games. And they lost to the Commanders.
Were they actually trying to win? At some point you're like, oh no, they're actually trying to win.
Once you win like 3 years in a row, at that point it's like, hey,
24 straight is not a coincidence.
So like you get to the point, like if you're ever watching a preseason game, like in the fourth quarter, coaches will do the most ridiculous things to try to win because they don't care, right? They'll go for it on 4th and 8 on their own 25-yard line with 1:30 left because it's just like, why not? Let's do it. But I think the thing that has helped is, you know what position they always play their starters during the preseason? The kicker. And the Ravens have the best kicker in football. And so I would love to go through and look like how many of their games did they win based off of field goals late in games and things like that. I think also Harbaugh is definitely that coach who would like care about winning a preseason football game.
I was gonna say it kind of makes me question Harbaugh a little bit. Like, what's going on here? Maybe he just loves to win that much. But also, I'm like, dude, it's a preseason game. Who cares?
Does it also have something to do with, and maybe I'm misreading the league, but a lot of backup quarterbacks don't have the same skill set as the starter, or not skill set. The offense isn't tailored towards the backup like it is the starter, obviously, which is smart. But the Ravens had
Tyler Huntley.
Even when they had Flacco, they had a backup, it seems like, that was playing the similar football as Flacco to where the game style would kind of match. And in preseason, when you're playing guys in the third preseason game most of the time that are 4-stringers, as long as you have a game plan that can kind of simulate the starters, I feel like you're going to win. Because
and I don't pay enough attention. Like, were they playing their first string offensive or
yeah,
defensive
who knows?
line longer than others, or receivers, or who knows? You never know what they've got going on. But I just thought that was crazy. I think the statistic is like the last time they lost a preseason game was 3 years before Lamar Jackson was even drafted, or something crazy
Yeah.
like that. Like, it's been that long.
The Commanders' celebration on that was pretty bit
I,
much for a
I
preseason
didn't see
game,
the
too.
Oh man, our boy Sly.
Joey Sly, or whatever his
Joey
name
Sly?
is, he was throwing down W's.
Yeah.
He was eating W's like Jameis Winston.
Well, I
Was
think the
he
team.
Jameson it?
I think the
Oh, he
teams.
was.
I think the teams know about, like. I could see the Ravens players out there bragging, like, dude, we haven't lost preseason in forever, blah blah blah. So maybe there was a little trash talk going on throughout the game.
Yeah, it could have been, because he was pretty hype.
Yeah. All right. The other big thing that came across the desk. Jonathan Taylor has gotten permission from the Indianapolis Colts to seek a trade. I did not pay attention. I think they did release today what they were looking for, but
First round pick.
I don't care what they're thinking. What do we think Jonathan Taylor is actually worth? If I'm a team that is drafting for Jonathan Taylor, because you gotta consider he's gonna ask for a new contract when you trade for him.
I gotta say, Jim
last year,
Irsay, I'm disappointed in Jim Irsay after this whole saga, because he said, I will not trade Jonathan Taylor today, and I will not trade him in October or September or whatever. Then the whale died.
Lolita, Rip Lolita.
He was saving $20 million for that dang whale. Lolita is dead. I was like, okay, now they're going to pay Jonathan Taylor because Lolita's dead. Nope. Next day, trading him.
Yeah.
No, I think that Lolita dying didn't help Jonathan Taylor. I think it made
Jim Irsay might be in mourning.
Yeah, I think he's planning an extensive funeral for Lolita, and he really needs to save the money. Now, if I'm after the season Jonathan Taylor had last year, because he was hurt and just he didn't have a great season, I'm not giving up more than a 3rd round draft pick for him.
I think it's a 3rd round and like a player. So I saw on the internet today, and I was curious who says no in this scenario. I think it was Josh Jacobs and a 3rd for Jonathan Taylor.
Oh no, I'm keeping Josh Jacobs.
That's what I'm saying too. But JT just gives you so much out of the backfield, so it's just.
But how do you?
I have a hard time. I would, if the Cowboys give up a 1st rounder for him, I'm gonna be ticked.
The Cowboys don't need him. They got Deuce, baby.
I can see the Cowboys doing something stupid.
Tony Pollard and Deuce.
Yeah, I mean, they don't need him. My other issue with players like this, and other than this situation, Jonathan Taylor's done his job, kept his mouth shut, whatever. He's been a good person, blah, 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 all the facts. But he's got this new agent that absolutely seems like a buffoon.
Oh, yeah. This guy has got a bad strategy for sure.
Yeah, if you trade for him and you lowball him, his agent's going to get in his ear and say, no, we don't want this. So you're on a 1-year rental. You've traded for him, and then he's gone. Which I don't know who's. I don't think anyone trades for him, to be honest. I really don't.
If I'm Jonathan Taylor,
I fire my agent.
Well, probably, but I understand that players nowadays want to go and like win a championship or for whatever, but also a lot of players are in it. You know, generational wealth is possible.
Yeah.
If I'm Jonathan Taylor, send me to a crappy team who will pay me my contract. Send me to the Cardinals.
Yep.
Did he sign an extension?
He did in April 19th of this year. He signed an extension or whatever, his new contract. But the problem is he wants, this all the running backs, they want this new. They want to redo because they see all these other positions getting cut. And he literally on April 19th, in a press conference,
I will be there.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. Like, I have put pen to paper. And it just shows that you cannot take anyone in the NFL to their word, right?
Yeah.
No.
Jim Irsay says, I'm not going to trade him no matter what time of year it is. Here he is. Hey, you can have a trade. Jonathan Taylor tells the people of Indianapolis, I'm not going anywhere because I put my pen to paper on this contract. Immediately ask for a trade. So you cannot listen to anything anyone says.
I just don't get what they think the move is. I don't get what they think the move is going to be. most likely what's going to happen is a team is going to trade him for, a third-round pick, right? Whatever it is. And they're going to have him for a year, and they're going to say, okay, you can walk. And some other team's going to say, we'll take you for a year, and we'll give you $4 million for a year.
Yep.
And that's going to be his best offer. I don't know what they think.
No, he'll get more than $4 million.
The contract he signed wasn't a bad contract extension, I don't believe.
Well, the problem is you got to think about when you trade somebody, you also have to take on their contract. Now, you don't have to restructure, but a lot of times, like, you assign
they will
restructure with. But I mean, Jonathan Taylor's not going to come and sign that restructure if you're only giving him $4 million a year. That'd be a huge pay cut. So I really think his best chance is to go to a team like Houston, who has, plenty of –
drafted a young quarterback.
They should have plenty of cap space because they got a rookie QB, and Davis Mills has not signed his second contract ever.
I saw this morning, I think it's like the Texans, the Cowboys.
The problem is
they're over 16 or $17 million in cap space.
Would Indianapolis trade him to the Texans is question number one. Because they're in the same division.
They're in the division.
So I don't know if that would happen. Let me see, actually, if I can find.
But here's the thing. Jonathan Taylor has no leverage in this. Because he
signed a contract.
Yeah, you just signed a contract. Sure. If you do get a trade suitor, the GM knows what contract you just signed for. And what is he going to do? Maybe restructure it and give you hey, buddy, we'll give you another $500,000 this year. Okay. You have no leverage.
No, he has no leverage. The worst thing he can do is sit out, and then it's just going to cost him a fortune. So the best thing that he has going for him is that Irsay said that he'll trade him. That was a huge mistake by Irsay, in my opinion, unless Irsay.
I think if he thinks he's going to hold out anyways, Irsay is going to say, we'll get something out of you.
I think Irsay is only going to take some ridiculous deal. I think he is only taking like a first and a player.
That
might not be a great player.
Irsay seems a little spiteful, where he could be like, "I'll just force you to sit out this year."
Yeah,
and we'll see how bad you want this.
Yeah, I mean, those game checks are expensive.
Do you really think someone trades for him though? That's my question. I mean,
I think there are teams that could use him. I think if I am the Bears, the Cardinals, the Texans.
The Cardinals have no money, do they?
Surely they have to have money. All their players are 1,000 years old. But
neither of these teams does Jonathan Taylor put you over the hump.
No.
Taylor doesn't make any of these teams even a playoff team.
Yeah, no. These teams aren't trying to make playoff teams. These teams are trying to sell enough. They're going to suck. I mean, the Houston Texans, the Cardinals are going to be the number one seed. It's guaranteed. They're going to be the number one seed. They might win a game. They might go 0-17 and be the first team to ever do that.
Kyler Murray might be out of a job next year.
I mean, Kyler's not going to play this year. Probably.
He's out for.
So their goal is, hey, how many games can I get people to show up for? And if you bring in Jonathan Taylor, right? If you're the Houston Texans in particular, you got the brand new CJ Stroud. We got a new QB. He looked good in the playoffs for Ohio State. So even if he sucks at the beginning, you're getting at least 4 games of sellout crowds at NRG. You bring in Jonathan Taylor, that might go up to 7.
Yeah, but the Texans doing it wouldn't be a bad idea. Jonathan Taylor is somewhat of a proven commodity. The question is how long can he do it for? If you give up like a third or a second round pick, what else are you going to pick?
The other question
that's not going to pan out.
The other question,
I'm not giving up more than a third rounder for him, though. A third rounder is all you.
The Texans are desperate. The Texans are literally desperate. They're the worst team in the league. They've been for a long time.
Is Jonathan Taylor a proven commodity? Because when he didn't have an offensive line last year, he was not very good. And he's going to go.
Won't have one in Houston.
He's probably going to go to a team who has a terrible offensive line. But then they're throwing around these teams like it was the Jets, and then Dalvin Cook signed, so then they're out. But the Dolphins, if the Dolphins can find a way to afford Jonathan Taylor, forget the salary cap. It's officially dead. There's no way.
It already is dead.
They already have 3 great running backs. Well, sorry, 2. Devon Achane now injured. Sorry.
Dude,
I don't know who's going to trade for him. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't
If
know.
someone does
I
trade
think he
for him,
plays for
though,
the Colts. I think he's gonna play. I think he's gonna be a Colt.
I think so too. But if someone does trade for him, are they going into it just accepting it's a 1-year rental and then seeing what happens? And
I think that's possible. I think that's very possible.
I mean, I think no matter what, he'll be at that team for more than a year.
Because I think it depends. I think it depends how rigid he is and what he wants. Like, if he's convinced he needs X amount of dollars.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't think that another team can afford. Like,
he's gonna have to come to his senses a bit. And
he will have to have an incredible year at wherever he goes to get traded to a better team.
And where he gets traded is not gonna be set up for an incredible year.
I think he just needs to
shut up and play for the Colts.
No, I just think he needs to enjoy the fact that he got a second contract.
Yeah.
And go to a team that is not very good. You're never going to win a championship, but you're pretty much guaranteed to get that third contract. I think the Bears, if they had the money, that's the team that if I was him, I would try to go.
They got to have some money.
I don't know, man. They keep splashing cash on these terrible players, so who knows?
Well, if he stays at Indianapolis and balls out this year, he sets himself up. But most players.
He's already under contract, so even if he balls out, like, sucks, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We talked about this the first week we were back. It's if you're in going into a contract year, you have room to.
Oh, for sure, right? Like Chris Jones is going into his contract year.
Yeah.
He's still not playing, and he's gonna get paid.
Yeah,
it might not be by the Chiefs, but he's gonna get paid.
But when you signed a contract 6 months ago, you have no room to do this.
For sure.
Don't sign the contract.
And it's just the unfortunate cycle of the NFL, which we've already talked about on previous things. The cycle of positions that get signed, right? This year it was not the running backs, but the defensive tackles are all getting paid. And some of the quarterbacks, right? The quarterbacks are always going to be every year. The quarterbacks is just always an issue.
Look, if there's a position group that deserves to stand on a hill and die on it, like the running backs are, it's the tight end group. The tight ends deserve to stand on this.
Last year, it was the wide receivers. Last year, the wide receivers got tons of great cash. I mean, it rotates. Next year, it'll probably be the defensive ends or the edge rushers or whatever you want to call them. Like Micah is going to get paid next year because he hasn't been paid yet. And his contract is going to be ridiculous because according to all the film that you see out of the Dallas Cowboys, he's going to have 75 sacks. Or the Dallas offensive line is garbage. One of the two.
It's going to average it. I mean, it's going to even out.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Shane just left, but it's fine. We're going to get to the thing that I've been the most excited for, and I'm super pumped that Jonathan's not here for. It's time to talk about college football.
Here we go.
I'll be right back.
Have we experienced the realignment recruiting reset is the question. So here's my first thing. It is now possible with NIL and the transfer portal and all of these things for a team to get good overnight. For example, LSU was a dumpster fire, brings in Brian Kelly. They're playing in an SEC championship game. USC gets Lincoln Riley. They're Pac-12 champs. TCU gets Sonny Dykes and some people, and they also get very lucky. They make the actual national championship. So there are teams that can all of a sudden get good overnight, which is why we talked about it last week. These preseason polls mean absolutely nothing because a team that could be unranked like TCU last year could come in and be in the national championship game based off of the NIL and the transfer portal, which is good news
for Deion Sanders.
I think they're going to suck.
They're not going to make a bowl game.
Every word that I listen to that guy say as a coach, I'm like, dude, they are going to be awful.
People love it.
It's good. I mean, yeah, it's good TV, but it's not good football.
Yeah, it's more potential to be a dumpster fire than anything.
But it's good news for the Ags because we have sucked recently. So the key is, obviously, we still have Jimbo. But once Jimbo gets fired next year or this year, whenever it happens, next year we could have a good coach, and all of a sudden we could be good at football again.
I'm starting to believe in the Aggies this year. I'm not going to lie.
Don't do it.
I see.
They'll break your heart.
Neutral. I've been listening to a lot of neutral folks talk about.
We were ranked
Oh,
number
me too.
5. We were ranked number
People that
5
have watched-
preseason last year. Lots of neutrals were praising us, and we sucked.
People that have watched practice, people that have been around the team.
Can the
and they're all
quarterback
saying
throw the football?
They all.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's less about the quarterbacks and it's more about the defense being unbelievable.
I don't care. Our
And
defense was good last year.
the wide receiver room. It's
The wide
defensive
receiver group's going to be fantastic.
I don't care if the quarterback can't hit him.
But I don't know. The talk I've been hearing is Connor Wigman's been pretty good.
Me too. I've listened to so much SEC nut grabbers
Me too.
that are
Talking about Wigman
non-biased. Yeah, non-biased. They're just.
Hey,
Like I said, we're winning the Natty. I mean,
I hope you're not wrong. Also, we already talked about this. We're still deciding on what game we will go to for the NFL as our annual tradition. But if Texas A&M is in the national championship, we will all 4 be there.
yeah, we will.
Oh,
if we can get tickets. If for some reason it's like a Taylor Swift scenario and we can't get tickets, there's not much. We'll go to
I'll get
Atlanta and we'll be in the area, and then we will go watch it at a bar and we'll live stream it. I don't care.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
get tickets.
we will be there.
Ooh,
I will remortgage my house.
I was gonna say, honestly, like it would be so fun to go to the game, but like if we can't get tickets, it would kind of be cool if we all flew to the same place and just live streamed us watching the football game. That would also be a good idea. So that's my thing. I think that college football, I'm gonna start to enjoy it more because there's gonna be more randomness, or parody is the way that it's always phrased.
I agree.
Right. For years, it was always just like, hey, Alabama, Clemson, Alabama's going to be good, whatever, blah, blah. The same teams are always going to, Oklahoma's always going to win the Big 12, da, 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 da. The recruiting is the same. But now, recruiting is kind of flipping. People are just, I mean, I hate that the recruiting is flipping just based off who has the most money. But
I love it because we got a lot of it.
I am a pro.
Recruits mean nothing until they actually are good.
Agreed.
So.
Well, speaking of recruits, last year our historic recruiting class, the guy that went to Georgia is no longer on the team. Denver Harris, Smoke Bowie went to Georgia, no longer on the team. Denver Harris is now suspended.
Yeah.
Plus another guy, I can't remember who it was, that transferred to LSU, are both suspended.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a total disaster. Yeah. But as far as college football realignment goes, I am pro realignment. I'm not pro realignment. But I love the tradition. I love all that about like old division or conferences. But I'm telling you what, when there is a Saturday when we're watching Ohio State, Oregon, I will be just as hype about that.
Yep.
Nah.
I will be. I think
the West Coast teams I'm just never excited for because I know
it's going to be so weird. It's going to be so weird
when they come play Ohio State. They're just going to get their butt kicked. It's like, what's the point?
It's going to be like bizarre. It is going to be completely bizarre
because they're no longer going to be playing. Now I know people, our thousands of viewers will be in the comment. Well, a couple years ago, Oregon beat Ohio State in the Horseshoe. Week one, those games where you had the cross conference where anything could happen, where as my wife still says to this day on August 22nd that Texas beat Alabama last year in Austin. They did not, they lost. But those are all week 1, week 2 games where the teams haven't figured it out. When you've got the Oregons traveling to play Ohio State week
7,
they're gonna get dog walked because they figured it out. The best time to play Alabama and Georgia is early in the season because by the end of the year, they figured it out.
I would rather see Ohio State Oregon play than Ohio State Rutgers.
No. I'm all for the realignment. I just don't like the realignment that is happening. That's my point.
It's going to be weird because people are talking about like traveling, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care about the traveling. Who cares? I'm not traveling, so I don't care.
I think the realignment should only be for football, which I know you can't do. All of the other sports needs to stay the same.
Volleyball teams are getting screwed the worst because I've been to a couple volleyball games in college. Those games can potentially last about 45 minutes. So you're telling me those players are going to fly 4 hours to play a 45-minute game? That's
yeah,
ridiculous.
and I mean it's all of those kind of sports where they play any sport that's playing multiple games a week. Basketball is the same. Yeah, every basketball game is going to be about 2 hours long, but like
But when
they're
you're
playing on a
3
Monday,
innings-
Wednesday, and
Tuesday,
Friday. It's like, yeah, I mean, okay, those kids are never going to be in school. So I think realignment should just be for football, and that's all we care about here on the Football is King podcast.
I think we're
Screw all
moving.
the
I think
other
we're
sports.
moving towards that. I think we are moving towards where football will be split apart from the NCAA.
It should be, frankly.
But the only problem is that to me that really can't happen because football has to support the rest of the teams.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
it does.
that's the
Without
problem, right?
football-
That's the NBA WNBA debate right there, right?
Yep.
The big sports have to subsidize the small sports. That's just the world we live in, and it's
Yeah,
it's
there is no women's softball if there's no football. There's no baseball if there's football.
Title
Yeah,
IX is a great thing if you would like to be an athlete that doesn't play football because
The
it will support your sport and guarantee you that you get that money.
The one thing about football, like college sports in particular, is football is not just supplying men's and women's soccer. It's also supplying baseball, probably basketball in some instances.
Not men's basketball. Men's basketball makes money.
Yeah, men's basketball. Well, probably not everywhere, but men's
not everywhere. But
yeah.
No, I'm saying at certain
Power
schools.
5 schools, your Power 5 schools, your men's basketball is going to make money.
Yeah, because the TV deals are great for March Madness.
I think baseball at some schools even makes money.
Oh,
I'm sure some, yeah, but
SEC schools probably baseball makes money at most of them.
That's probably just because of the SEC network, though.
Yeah, but
plus,
the Pac-12.
You're traveling once to play 3 games, so you're playing a lot more games where you're selling tickets.
Yeah. All right, it's time for the segment I've been so excited for many, many days. So as a person who lives in the Austin area, I get to listen to local sports radio because I'm just addicted to it. I'm sorry. I'm so addicted to listening to the people. And you know what? They're just like the Dallas Cowboys. The University of Texas they're just entertaining and they're fun to watch. But I actually have some things. It goes along with the recruitment changing. I think now that we know we're fast approaching the University of Texas and Oklahoma coming to the SEC. The University of Texas is picking up some great recruits. There's this kid, apparently. I don't know anything about him. His name is Colin Simmons. He has been heralded by everyone in Austin as the greatest recruit the University of Texas has ever had.
They say that with every recruit they've ever gotten.
Beating Vince Young, and thank you, Blake, for bringing it up.
Quinn Ewers.
I think
when is it not the greatest recruit?
I think Arch Manning is dead.
I think it is too.
I think he's dead. I think his college career is already over. Like
Texas, probably.
At Texas, not only is no one excited about him trying to push Quinn Ewers, he is like the number 4 quarterback on the depth chart. Everything I've heard out of practice from these reporters that go to practice is that Arch Manning sucks. He's bad.
I saw a video of him in practice. It was not pretty.
Well, you got to think who he was playing against in high school.
Is it finally time to
special needs individuals?
Is it finally time to say, I know that this comes also off the Michael Orr scenario. Is it time to stop recruiting high school players that are playing at a private school against small white guys? Like, is that the thing?
What did I say last year or a couple years ago? Whoever is deciding these stars on these people are not good talent evaluators, because if they were, they would not be evaluating high school kids and their talent possibilities.
A lot of times it's just based off of their athleticism. That's what it is.
And if you're playing small whites that are not athletic, it's pretty easy to look really athletic.
The whole thing with Texas is every player they ever get is going to be the greatest player they're ever going to get.
So
and we knew Arch Manning wasn't good. We knew Arch Manning was not good because I think it was like literally at the spring game. They asked Steve Sarkisian, who's your starting quarterback? Every coach in America would say, Jimbo Fisher included, Nick Saban would say, that's none of your business, basically.
Yeah.
Steve Sarkisian was like, Quinn Ewers is the obvious starter. So we knew he was bad.
Well, I'm also like on team, and you know what? I appreciate the people here in Austin. I was listening to a podcast earlier today talking about like, hey, if Sark doesn't meet expectations, he should be on the hot seat this year. Like,
he's
for
got.
sure.
Yeah, they have the
like
talent.
His seat should already be pretty warm.
They always have talent. That's the thing.
But then there's the whole thing. So then the whole thing is, all right, let's say, right, next year you're guaranteed to go play in the SEC. Do you want a new head coach while transitioning to the SEC? That's the question. So like,
well, A&M did it.
That's fair. 10-2 with the Heisman Trophy winner.
Here's the thing: Texas is their own worst enemy. Texas is their own worst enemy because they hype all these dudes up before they ever play a snap.
Oh, for sure.
And they are one of the few. They are one of the few schools in America, I swear, where they get a high school recruit and they're like, "That's the greatest player Texas has ever had," and then it's like, "Well, the dude never sets foot on the field as Longhorn.
Yeah,
he never will."
Yeah, and you look at him, and you look at it too. I feel like they're like the old school, like Friday Night Lights, where just like as they walk around campus, like they hire people to walk around and be like, "You are the greatest thing that God has ever given to the earth," and that just is bad for. They have no. It's the opposite of the Nick Saban at Alabama, where Nick Saban will take the best football player the world has ever seen and just like, you are garbage and you deserve. You have to work your way to be on my team.
You will sit here for 3 years and we won't hear about you. And then 3 years down the road, we'll be like, "Oh, that was that 5-star kid that we signed 3 years ago."
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and part of it, I think, like with a school like Texas in particular, is they have to build hype. Because since they've come out of relevance since, 2010?
2011.
Yeah. Since they haven't been relevant, they can't fill a stadium. So they got to build hype and hype and hype to where people want to show up around town to go see them. So, yeah, they got to build up these recruits. Oh, this guy's going to be the greatest thing since Lucky Charms, you know?
But then the problem is that everyone says, "Oh, they have all this talent because they've all been hyped up."
Yeah.
Like, well, they still don't win. They still lose to Kansas.
Suck.
Yeah.
They still
lose to Kansas.
But they got to hype it up so that they can try and fill some seats. They got to fill some seats because if you,
Iowa State's still going to walk into Austin and beat them.
Yeah. And every game I've tuned into to watch Texas lose, just to put a smile on my face, it is the most pitiful group of humans in the stadium. Like no one's there. Like they don't care about football in Austin. They're more worried about going to 6th Street.
The stadium is. I mean, I will go to a game this year. I think I'm going to Kansas State this year, actually, which will be a good game. Hopefully, it'll be full. Their student section setup is the worst. I would hate being a student at the University of Texas. The way that they do their tickets is weird, to where you don't like have an actual seat, or you do have an actual seat and people just go sit wherever they want. And you're so crowded, like you're not even on the bleacher, you're standing sideways. Also, they put their students in the corner of the end zone.
Hidden.
Like you give them literally the worst seat in the house. Like the students should be like
front and center
on one side, which I mean, I understand the A&M's student section is insane because there's not much to do in College Station on a Saturday. So it's a whole side of the stadium and you're not going to get that in most places that you have it. But like at least make it the lower deck of one side.
But I will say when you thinking about Texas and the SEC, when you see an SEC football game, the environments are like electric because the students are so heavily involved.
You don't see that at Texas.
At pretty much every school. At Texas, that will not be the case.
No.
Yeah.
It'll be like, I don't even know what school to compare it to because it's going to be like
Oklahoma student section is better than Texas.
Theirs is also going to be weird too. Like
no, it is, but
it's not the
Texas
same.
might come in and be the worst student section there is.
But you don't turn into an Oklahoma game and be like, wow,
Vanderbilt, okay.
Vanderbilt, like Kentucky.
No, Kentucky's got a good student section.
For basketball,
I think
Texas has a better student section than Kentucky for football. Guaranteed.
I think Texas and Oklahoma are going to be very weird in the SEC. It feels very corporate.
I still think Texas fits in better than Oklahoma.
I agree.
Oh yeah, I agree.
But when you think about an SEC game, like Athens, Tuscaloosa,
Yeah,
Auburn.
you think
Yeah.
These are all like
No, for sure.
The football team revolves around, or the city revolves around the football team.
Yes.
The city of Austin, you could go out on a Saturday when Texas is playing. There are going to be plenty of people everywhere.
Yeah. So yes, Austin is definitely revolves around UT, but it's UT. It's not UT football, right? That's the difference.
Yeah.
Like UT is a huge
there are
part.
plenty of people. There's nobody in College Station that's like, oh, I don't care that the Aggies are playing. There's nobody in Tuscaloosa that's like,
oh shoot, man, you were.
Alabama's
I don't
playing.
know, man. I had lots of kids in my major who were studying Saturday in the library when it was empty.
But that's
yes,
the outliers.
No, for sure.
Like,
right.
Oh, there's going to be people at Silver Park hanging out.
You go on a College Station on a Saturday when A&M's playing there, and there's literally 50,000 students out of 70,000 at the football game.
Texas is like
you don't get that anywhere. I mean, you don't get that anywhere else.
No, well,
you do not get that at Alabama. I mean, you don't
get that in Athens.
You do not get that anywhere where that percentage of the students are in the stadium.
Oh, yeah, A&M doesn't get enough credit.
In Athens is like a city, for lack of a better word. If you're there on a Saturday, it's like, oh, obviously something is going on here. If you drive through Austin, it's like,
oh yeah, no, dude. That's the most foolish. Yeah, something's going. Dude, traffic is a nightmare. You are so wrong on that. I mean, traffic on a Saturday afternoon.
But it's not the same. It is not the same.
It's terrible.
You go to college.
The environment when you're out of your car is different, but the traffic is just nuts. I will not get on I-35, even in Georgetown,
Austin,
which is 30 miles away. Yeah, no, not like that though. All right. To answer my question from earlier, though, about has recruiting reset, really not that much. If you look at currently the top 20 recruits for the class of 2024, 12 of the 20 are going to an SEC school. And if you count Texas and Oklahoma, then 17 of the 20 are going to the SEC instead of somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to change a whole lot.
But to the other point, like, why is this kid that Colin Simmons that's going to Texas so highly recruited? He is 6'3", 225, and he plays defensive end. He's a monster.
And the funny part is he's the 27th ranked player in the nation this year, according to 247.
No, 247. I'm on it right now. He's the 8th ranked player in the nation.
8?
He's
on there. On the composite, he's the 8th.
Yeah.
On their individual ranking, he's 27th.
Oh,
but what is it? But where is he playing?
Duncanville. I mean, he's playing at a public school.
Duncanville is a good school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
probably like number 3.
I mean, this kid is a beast. He's
not playing. He's not playing against Rich Whites.
No, he's going to be a good player, but they said the same thing about Malik Jefferson 6 years ago or 7 years ago, and Malik Jefferson was a good player, but he was not like he wasn't a world beater. He wasn't Will Anderson.
I just heard that when I was listening to the podcast or the local radios going on.
Was it Arwani or whatever his name is?
No, these were like the local guys around, and they were just like, yeah, no, this is the best recruit that Texas has ever had.
Are they just dying for a Vince Young? They just need a Vince Young so
bad. Dude, they said he's better than Vince Young, and I was like, that's big shoes to fill, because Vince Young is definitely your best recruit of all time. That dude was a monster.
Yeah.
All right. While we're still on that, let's talk about the burnt orange Kool-Aid meter. This is going to be a recurring segment during this the football season. We're here. I heard it today on 2 different sports radio shows. What do you think is the standard for the Texas Longhorns this year?
Oh, they're going to win the Big 12.
Sorry, how many wins? Let's go with that. How many wins?
Do we think they're going to have
how many wins does the Austin area think is a mandatory?
11 is mandatory.
They're winning the Big 12 and 11 wins.
11 wins was their mandatory, which is
just crazy to me. That's crazy.
I mean, their roster does look pretty good, and the Big 12 is still weak. I mean, Oklahoma, are they gonna be good?
Everyone's picking Texas Tech to be like
they're
really
gonna suck.
TCU is gonna. They lost way too much. TCU is gonna suck this year, I feel like. But Sonny Dykes is a good coach, but like, there's no way TCU is gonna be at the same level. K-State, maybe.
I don't know. K-State's one of those teams where it's like you don't even think they're any good, and then they end up being just decent.
I mean,
is a toss-up, though.
Iowa State will play the good, like Oklahoma and Texas close, probably, but then they will lose to Kansas. And it's
And they'll lose to Iowa week 2 or week 1, whatever it is.
I just love that the burnt orange Kool-Aid meter is currently at 11
It's
wins.
very high, even in the national media. It's
it is
high.
like if Steve Sarkisian does not win 11 games, he should be fired kind of high, which is
crazy.
Crazy.
All right.
Which is why no one wants to coach at Texas. This is why no one wants to coach.
Dude, I'll coach at Texas right now.
Yeah, give me
I will
too.
coach at Texas right now. Give me that paycheck. Even if you fire me after game 1, I will still make like 10 years worth of my salary right now. But it's come to the best part of the podcast. It's the good news part of the podcast. It is August 22nd, 2023, and it is officially week 0.
Let's go.
We have meaningful football this week, which we will talk about.
Navy.
We will talk about it next week on the podcast, but it's just exciting to say that meaningful football is here. And
I've looked at the schedule at no less than 3 times today.
I've looked at it twice, I think, going, what do I got to look forward to?
What I got to watch this weekend?
Yep, what do I got to look?
And then next weekend's going to be fantastic.
Oh, dude, next weekend's going to go off. I'm super
Week
pumped.
2. Week 2 is going to go off.
Week
oh, yeah.
Gonna be great.
Texas A&M, Miami, Alabama, Texas, and I think there's a noon game that's pretty dang good too.
Shoot, I got it right here.
My adorable wife couldn't pick a better time to have a baby.
Dude,
I was going to say that's perfect timing.
Ole Miss Tulane's going to be a banger as well. They're not the best teams, but Ole Miss versus Tulane will be a fun game.
Tulane is ranked, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But once again, preseason rankings mean nothing. Oregon playing Texas Tech in Lubbock.
Yeah, there's a lot of bizarre Power 5 games.
Yeah,
Tulane would have been
Auburn and Cal at 10:30 at night. Is going to be unbelievable. Is that week 2 or week 1 that Auburn and Cal?
It must be week 1 because I don't see it.
They may be playing week 1 at 10:30 at night. It's going to be awesome.
I'm still not seeing it. Maybe it's week 3.
I swear it was on there.
Is it maybe not on Saturday? I don't know.
No, it may not be on there because they're not ranked.
I mean,
it's week 2 at 10:30, Auburn at Cal.
How about our guy, Coach Prime, opening up against TCU in Fort Worth?
Dude, what is the spread? What is the spread at right now?
Oh, I'll give you a guess.
TCU 13.5.
41 points.
TCU minus 21.
21. Okay. Well, I would take Colorado in that, I think.
No, I
who's
think
playing quarterback for the Horned Frogs?
No,
who's playing for the Horned Frogs?
I don't know.
That's my problem is that Duggan is gone. I don't know. TCU could be terrible.
Prime could.
But I love Sonny
Chandler
Dykes,
Morris.
Sonny Dykes is a good football
the
coach.
one thing I could see is, and I'm not predicting Colorado to be good, but I could see Prime getting them kids hyped up, and somehow they pull what would be considered an upset week 1, and then if you get to the end of the year, might not really be that big of an upset. But Chandler
Morris was the starting quarterback last year for TCU.
Isn't that old Chad Morris's son?
Yeah, it is. I think Colorado gets beat by. They're going to get pasted by TCU.
I hope so. I hope Colorado gets pasted every game.
But Prime has already what is it called when you he's like set it up. He's like, we're not expecting much against that. We're not ready to play that caliber of team. He's already said that.
Yeah, I hope he gets just dragged through the media.
He was perfect for an HBCU. He is not perfect for a Power 5 school.
No.
He should have stayed where he was. He was making good money there too.
He didn't need the money.
No, I know, but he was still, for what he was doing, he was making good money.
But he lived in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, they had to stay in a hotel because they didn't have clean water.
Yeah. It's not a good look.
Yeah, it's not. All right, it is time to finally talk about, that was our hour on other football things. It's time to get to our regular scheduled programming. Our second to last preview episode, we're talking about the NFC and AFC West. Same structure. If you've been following along with the other 2 episodes, we'll talk about what's a big question for the team? What are the positives? What are the negatives? Kind of who have they signed? Those kind of things. And then they're over under, and we will make our picks. And we know with our thousands of viewers that y'all will be combing through this and at the end of the year telling us what we got right and what we got wrong. Because we are definitely keeping track. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely been writing it down. Sure.
I know the biggest question mark for one of the AFC West teams.
Well, they're last, and I am so excited that Jonathan is not here because I am just going to talk so much trash on the Raiders since he's not here to defend himself. All right, but let's talk about the NFC first, starting off with the winners from last year, the San Francisco 49ers. And I think the only question that matters for them is, are they finally going to be healthy when they make it to the playoffs? Like every year, I feel like we hear that this is the team that they're going to, if they stay healthy, that they should easily win the Super Bowl. And then they never win the Super Bowl.
That's their biggest question mark every year is, can you be healthy going into the playoffs?
I don't know if it's like a Kyle Shanahan, the way they coach, or are they
I was about to ask
unlucky?
that.
Or is it because God is just like the San Francisco is just like Sodom and Gomorrah, and he's like, nah, can't have any good things over there. Because seriously, like, I mean, something's got to be, you've got to be jinxed by a witch or something where you lose 3 quarterbacks in one playoff game. Like, that's just, I'm sorry, that's just bad luck.
Yeah, they got something wrong.
At what point do you blame your head coach though?
They were freak accidents though, kind of.
Yeah, I really like Kyle
The concussion,
Shanahan.
the UCL, like.
Yeah, I like Kyle Shanahan a lot.
I do too. I do too. But I feel like a GM or an owner at some point is going to want to point the finger somewhere. So when do they blame Shanahan? And
I think it was just freak accidents.
I will say the NFL media does suck the D of Kyle Shanahan a little too hard when it comes to, like, I mean, he's also been blessed with a lot of talent on that roster.
He's always had talent.
He has always had incredible talent on that roster. I mean, he was a great coach when he was back with the Commanders, or I think they were the Redskins at the time. We don't say that anymore, except for apparently there's a petition bringing him back. We might say it again. Who knows? But
the Cherokees are pretty pissed about that.
Yeah, but he's a good coach. But I mean, you've had a defensive line and secondary and offensive line his entire career.
If it was like injuries that were like longevity issues, that'd be one thing. How many times have you heard of a quarterback tearing a UCL?
I mean, but also often. Like Bosa always gets hurt at the end of the season. He's always injured by the end of the season.
That's a different situation. I feel
is it a load management thing? Like I haven't paid attention to like his percent of snap counts compared to other people. What are their practices like? Do they need to fire their training staff? Who knows?
Yeah, but Andy Reid apparently has like the hardest practices.
But we have the best training staff. Watch the quarterback documentary.
The UCL,
Kirk Cousins is bringing in these mom and pop shop chiropractors, and Mahomes is just splashing the cash.
That's weird. But the UCL and then the concussion, like on whatever, like literally back-to-back drives. That is just bad luck.
No, that was bad luck.
Bosa's a different problem.
Bosa, like, I mean, they always have big injuries on their defensive line going into the playoffs, and that's a big deal.
Kittle seems to get hurt at the
Kittle. Also, I feel like they don't utilize Kittle enough.
They gotta cut. Not that he's Travis Kelce, but he could be a Travis Kelce.
I mean, people say that there are legitimate people who say he is better than Travis Kelce.
No, I disagree with that. But I think they could utilize him like Travis Kelce.
I think if if you think he is better than Travis Kelce, like give him the ball like Travis Kelce.
I don't think anyone is close to Travis Kelce.
No, I think it's Kelce. I think it's Gronk.
I think it's
way down.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think it's Kelce. I think it's Gronk right underneath him. I think that then there's like Tony and Antonio Gates, and then there's just like a steep cliff.
Yeah, but I think the gap from Kelce and Gronk to Antonio Gates and
that's why it's like Kelce, Gronk is here, and then like Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates are down here, and then like
it's not even close.
I love my boy Tony Gonzalez though. played basketball, learned how to play football. That's what we're talking about. All right. The biggest positive that we have for the San Francisco 49ers, though, the NFC sucks this year. I mean, they can just sleep through their regular season and still make the playoffs. And once you make the playoffs, anything happens.
Yeah, I hate to say their division is going to be absolutely awful.
This is this is the year if you're the
watch the Rams though. I think the Rams are gonna be sneaky.
No,
I think the Rams are gonna be sneaky.
You don't.
I don't think they're gonna.
That. You're just clickbait.
No,
That's clickbait.
No, I don't.
Stetson Bennett to be good.
I don't. Matthew Stafford still plays for that football team.
I think he'll be.
They have 36 rookies on the roster. 36.
Who cares, man?
Austin, no, you of all people, this is the Jonathan Heisner.
No, I do not think that they're going to be a playoff team, but I think they're like everyone thinks that they're garbage because they won like 3 or 4 games last year. I think that they're going to be.
They do still have Aaron Donald.
I think they're going to be pushing 7 wins. So I think that they are. Let me say this. I don't think the Rams are a good football team. I think they're that team, though, that you do not want to play on Sunday because anyone can beat anyone in the NFL, and they have the talent where all of a sudden Stafford and Cooper Kupp are on a rope with each other, and you don't stand a chance.
Your first Aaron Donald was a little clickbaity.
I'm just saying, I think they're a little. Hey, clickbait is how we get over 4,000 views, everybody. I think the biggest negative, let's go back to the 49ers. Their biggest negative, they have so much drama around their team right now. What is going on? Like, they got it. Everyone's running their mouth. Is Bosa still holding out at this point in time? I have not paid attention to that.
I think he is.
I mean, it's just like they got too much going on.
That could be their demise, though.
Everyone, like we said, the sports media, they're the sports media darlings with Kyle Shanahan. Like, they just need to find a way to, like, lay low and win football games, but they can't do that.
Nick Bosa's still holding out.
Out. I mean, shoot, it's $50,000 a day.
Is he holding out or holding in?
No, he's holding out. But out of the big name holdout players, for some reason, there's something about Nick Bosa's contract where if he comes back, he can get all the money back. That's the big thing.
Isn't it like
Kyle Shanahan says like, "Oh, we expected this.
I mean, yeah, it's the same thing. Like Brett Veach knew that Chris Jones wasn't going to show up at this point in time until they work out a contract. It's just how it works.
Is Nick Bosa still on his rookie deal?
No. I doubt it.
I thought only rookie deals could hold out and reimburse.
He might be. If Nick Bosa is still on a rookie deal, he's about to get paid.
I mean, I don't know. I thought the only people
he's still trying to get a contract extension to replace the final year of his rookie contract.
Yeah, because the only people that can get the money defaulted are people on rookie deals.
Well, Nick Bosa.
So even if he doesn't play and comes back, he's still going to get paid.
Nick Bosa is about to become the highest paid defensive end in NFL history, which honestly, if you're the 49ers, is smart.
Pay him now.
Because next year is going to be the run on defensive ends, and the Cowboys, because Micah Parsons is an insane person, Micah is going to ask for more money than TJ Watt and Nick Bosa. And the Cowboys are going to have to pay Micah even more.
Yep,
plus, who are the 49ers? I mean, they have McCaffrey.
Their D-line is stacked. Their O-line is stacked. They pay a lot of guys a lot of money. But they only got to pay Brock Purdy.
Yeah, you got it, you got to pay Nick Bosa. But
I'm not sure they pay Brock Purdy in 2 years or whatever it is.
No, I know. I just mean like right now, Brock Purdy is on a rookie contract.
Yeah, he's not making nothing, and he was Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, Trey Lance is on a rookie contract.
Well, you got Brock Purdy on a rookie contract for 3 more years, no?
For sure, yeah. You got Sam Darnold is probably getting what, vet minimum?
Yeah, vet man, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
Or close to it. I mean, he's not getting much. Actually, he's a backup quarterback in the NFL. He's probably making $10 million a year. But still, I mean, like
probably he's been playing for a decade.
Yeah, for QB money, that's nothing. You got to deal with Trey Lance as the number 3 overall pick or whatever it was.
One of those dudes is going to end up on the practice squad.
So,
but he probably gave Trey Lance most of that in the signing bonus his rookie year.
But it's his 3rd year, right? So, like, he's getting paid
Yeah, he's getting paid.
He's getting paid as a first-round pick that you're just killing that cap because Trey Lance is never going to see the football field ever again.
He's going to see
Yeah,
practice
it's not looking good for him.
He's going to see the practice field.
Yeah, that's the other part about their biggest negative, right? He's part of there's too much drama is that Trey Lance is just real bad at football. And
no, and you know what I don't get is everyone in the media is like, you got to see what Trey Lance can do. But
not if Brock Purdy does what he does.
Yeah, if you see what Trey Lance does in practice, what point do you have to throw? Like, if you know he's gonna suck, why would you throw? I know they all say, "Oh, you wasted a first round pick on him." Well, who cares? You wasted a last round pick on Brock Purdy in the same year, so it all equals itself out, right? Like you're getting Brock Purdy to play, so who cares? Like,
49ers are gonna be fine regardless.
Yeah. They got Kyle Shanahan.
They'll win 10 games.
Yeah, what was it? Was it their first game or their second game that like Trey Lance had a QBR of like 111, but like if you actually watch the game, he was just absolute.
Yeah,
I think it was the first preseason game.
Yeah, that they lost 34-7.
Because
everyone I saw talking about it was like, yeah, QBR probably is not telling the whole story on this one.
I mean, he also had a passer rating of 93 out of 100, but
yeah, because I texted the group chat and I said Trey Lance sucks, and Austin said he had a QBR of blah blah, you fool, and Johnny like bought into it.
I love me some QBR. Let's put him high on Pro Football Focus. Like, I mean, let's get
Tua thanks you a lot.
Yeah, let's get them all aboard that. Or
hey,
we're not talking about him this week, but like Justin Fields last week threw 3 for 3 for 129, but every pass was behind the line of scrimmage.
The 70 yards was 3 yards negative.
He had 2 touchdowns, and both of them were thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Hey,
I love him.
On the 49ers real fast, how does that – this is totally off topic, but the whole Nick Bosa deal, he gets fined $50,000 a day or a week or whatever.
Which is ridiculous. That's like basically my salary per year.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane.
Let's move it on. It's fine.
But because he's on his rookie deal, they can just void it. So I thought the NFL is inducing. So does the owner just pay that fine for him, or does he?
No, it's a fine to the team.
Yeah,
it's a fine to the team. So
yeah, they don't pay the NFL; they pay the team.
Yeah, the owner just says whatever.
So like Chris Jones is paying the Chiefs $50,000 a day. They basically just are taking it out of his paycheck.
But he's a vet. He's on a vet deal, so it's like
yeah,
he can take
but so he actually gets fined. He can't negotiate that away in his contract. But
on a rookie deal, they're not making enough money to be able to pay that.
Yeah, it's the same thing, right? I think a podcast that we don't ever mention because they're bigger than us and they're going to join ESPN on September 7th was talking about how
the preseason.
Yeah, the preseason, like vets make like $3,200 per game and like rookies make $1,800, but they're still fining guys $50,000 for completely legal hits.
That hit was totally baloney too.
I mean, there's no flag on the play or anything.
I watched it. I was like, what did he do?
Why are we going and like finding this guy post game? It makes no sense. But we do not mention other podcasts on this show because this is clearly the best podcast in the world.
Dude, when I heard that, when they said that's what they were making for a preseason game, I'd be like, I am not playing.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
that's why a lot of guys that are in the league, like if they're free, like Taylor Lewan right now, he's like, why would I go to training camp?
Yeah.
I've been in the league for 12 years. I'm not going to training camp.
No.
But yeah, when it comes to like the fines, like Chris Jones is like basically the Chiefs are just taking $50,000 off of his paycheck every day.
Which could, like, to us, we're like, are you kidding me?
Which, I mean, to him, it is definitely added up. But I guarantee you, if the Chiefs and Chris Jones come to a deal, there's going to be some signing bonus magic that is equal to the exact same amount of days that he missed out on.
Yeah, they won't pay it. They won't make him pay it.
Yeah. So, all right.
No chance.
Let's wrap up the 49ers. Their over-under is currently 10.5.
Over.
I am also hammering the over. I love the 49ers, man. They're a fun team to watch football. They play old school, but they play some good football.
But it's exciting. It's exciting at the same time.
I love Kyle Shanahan.
I don't love Kyle Shanahan or Mike Shanahan for that matter, because they've just tormented the Chiefs for years. All right, let's talk about everyone's favorite sleeper team, the Los Angeles Rams.
Under. What's their over?
Hey, we're not even. Hey, that's
Under.
last. I think what's more important than their over under, because they're going over and it's fine, is are we going to find out, is Sean McVay actually a good coach? I mean, he got hired at like what, 33 years old, and he's had a lot of bad seasons.
But can you judge him with 36 rookies on his team?
I mean, as much as they won the Super Bowl, so you can't complain too much. But he is totally screwed regardless.
Yeah,
I think we can judge him because he is a part of their offseason and the trading away of players.
But they sold out for a Super Bowl, which is fine. That was great. They won the Super Bowl, so it worked out.
But like they went way oversold. Like they sold out for multiple years in a row, and they got lucky that they won a Super Bowl. Right? They're one. Hey, for some reason, the Buccaneers don't cover Cooper Kupp deep with less than a minute. Yeah. And Matthew Stafford throws a bomb, and Cooper Kupp makes a miraculous catch over his shoulder away from being eliminated by Tom Brady, and Tom Brady winning an 8th Super Bowl. And we thank Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp for preventing that every single day. But
had they not won that Super Bowl, then you'd be looking at Sean McVay like, what have you done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they won the Super Bowl, so it's hard to judge him.
I just think he's that guy that like the media loves because he memorizes every play of the game. Every coach does that.
I think that's total BS.
He plays up to the media so much. Like, is he actually a good coach? We're going to find out this year. That's the question that we're going to answer.
I do think Stetson Bennett will be the quarterback by the end of the year, though.
That's probably just because Stafford gets hurt because their offensive line is garbage.
The thing is, look at like Andy Reid, who I love, but he's not as endeared by the media. Maybe he is.
I think he is now.
But it's like Andy Reid doesn't have to do all that sucking up like Sean McVay has to do to act like he's just this genius and blah blah blah. You got Andy Reid going up there. I got my Super Bowl trophy right here. It's my wedding ring to my beautiful wife. Like that stuff right there, like I think is gold. Like
Andy's just that he's the rare, diamond in NFL coaches he's just a good guy.
Yeah.
And that's why the media loves him and won't harp on him. Like
he also wins.
He also wins. But he was notorious for a very long time about actually having terrible clock management in the playoffs and things like that. But no one was ever going to harp him on that because everyone feels bad about being rude to Andy Reid.
The big old lovable
If Bill Belichick had the same
they would all
reputation, everyone doesn't like Bill Belichick as a person.
Was that a Taylor Swift reference because of his comments this week?
No. For sure.
Bill Belichick, apparently a big Swiftie.
Yeah, I mean, she's out there doing 3.5 hours out in the rain. Like, Bill Belichick's trying to sign her up.
Oh, he was ready to sign her as something. Kicker, director of morale, something.
I think that's the thing is that just everyone looks at Andy Reid and is like, hey, man, this guy's a good guy. Like, even if he sucks as a coach, he's one of those good people that we don't usually see in this business. Because
don't make fun of the fatso in his burgers. Is that what you're getting at?
Oh no, just a lot of people in the NFL are kind of crappy human beings, but they're good at what they do.
Yep.
I do think the Rams are going to be absolutely terrible this year.
Sean McVay probably should have retired after the Super Bowl.
I still don't know why I say it, but now that we're here, let's literally when I'm making the podcast script, their biggest positive for the Rams, I literally have no positives. I don't know what could possibly be a positive for the Rams. Here are all the players that they lost.
They have Aaron Donald.
Sure, there you go, Aaron Donald. Okay, but he's going to be triple teamed on every play. Here are all the players that they lost. They lost Jalen Ramsey, Bobby Wagner, Nick Scott, Taylor Rapp. They lost both safeties and their starting corner and their starting linebacker.
And they have no money.
They also lost Leonard Floyd, starting linebacker. Troy Hill, starting corner. They lost their entire defense besides Aaron Donald.
Most
Yeah,
are offensive line.
That doesn't seem good.
I don't know how they get any better, but somehow I believe they are going to. And their over-under is at 6.5.
Under.
I would. That's an ugly number.
And actually, just kidding. Now that I look at my spreadsheet that I did earlier, I take the Rams as the under. Look at that. We fooled you for the whole time.
I'm taking it under.
Yeah, that's an under for sure.
They'll be lucky to win 4 games.
Surprise, surprise. I got all of the NFC West going under except for the San Francisco 49ers. Let's talk about the Seahawks next.
Oh, gosh.
There's not much to say besides they're very inconsistent. So can they be consistent? Pete Carroll is a scumbag, but he's a good football coach. I don't know what to tell you on that.
I think Geno was fool's goal.
Oh yeah.
That's my thing. That's why I took the unders. I don't think Geno's going to be good. But oh man, their receivers are so good. I mean, DK, Tyler Lockett, they got Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like
that is a good receiver.
That's good receiving core. And
I just don't trust Geno.
They really bolstered their defense this year. They already got Tariq Woolley, who they already had last year. Tariq Woolley? However you say his last name. So, I mean, he's a decent corner. He's good as rookie. He was better than Sauce Gardner in every single category, but that's fine. They bring Bobby Wagner back. They get Devin Bush, and they take Jaron Reed. I mean, I like their picks on the defense. They also drafted with their first-round pick the corner Witherspoon out of –
Wasn't he out of Oregon?
No, that was a Hispanic.
Illinois. Sorry, he went to Illinois. Click on his name. But, I mean, they drafted another should-be decent rookie corner. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba really helps their offense, but the question is Geno actually going to be good again?
He did have a good year last year, but it's still like, do we really know?
Yeah.
Good for him. He had a good year, and they paid him a ton of money.
Yeah,
he will ride that for the rest of his life.
Yeah, good for. I mean, the NFL is all about can I play well enough to get my next contract.
Yep.
I know that players want to win Super Bowls, but honestly, if you're a player,
this is what matters.
You're going to possibly be in the league for 5 years. Try to get as much money as you can.
Yeah, I don't think Geno's worried about winning a Super Bowl. I don't think he maybe ever was. Maybe when he's with the Jets, he was like.
Maybe if he's sitting the bench as a backup in the future.
Yeah.
Geno's worried about making that money.
Yeah. The Seahawks' biggest problem is they lost their entire defensive line, so I don't know if they're going to be any good. That's their problem.
I think they're going to be a bad. I think they're also going to be a bad team, to be honest.
All right, so that's where the fun comes in. I mean, Vegas is just crushing it this year. Every year. I'm amazed. I want to know how these people are so smart. What algorithms they have?
Can I take a guess?
Shane already got it. It's 8.5. It's right there.
7.5.
Like they're at 8.5. Are they going to have a winning season or a losing season?
I'm going to take the under.
I took it.
8.5. I'd say 8 and 9 is not unrealistic.
The problem is they should guaranteed get 4 wins from their division because the Cardinals are trash and the Rams are trash.
I'll take the under because I think they are liable to lose a game like in LA.
Yeah, I don't trust Geno, and I like Geno, so I hope that he's good.
He's fun to watch.
Fun to watch. He was great to watch at West Virginia. I mean, back in the day.
He's just the ultimate wild card. You have no flipping clue.
I wish he was just more consistent. All right. Finally, from the NFC West, let's just rattle through because they're the worst team in the NFL. The Arizona Cardinals.
Under.
My question for the Arizona Cardinals is, should Kyler Murray go play baseball?
Yep. Yes. Go get your money.
Because he is not ever going to be good at football. Ever. He's too small. It's just proven at this point. He is too small. I know some quarterbacks can be good and be small, a.k.a. Drew Brees. Kyler is too small.
But Drew Brees was also a pocket passer. He took his 5-step drop and threw the ball.
I mean, Kyler Murray could be a pocket passer. I mean, he is accurate
But
in
he
those things.
won't.
But he won't because
He won't.
if he stays with the Cardinals, his team is always going to be terrible. The Cardinals, their organization is one of the worst organizations run in sports.
Look, I understand that Kyler wanted to play football, but call me crazy. If you can go play a sport where they hand out guaranteed contracts or a sport where you're lucky to play 5 years, give me the guaranteed contract.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm on that train.
I think he should go play baseball. I don't know who drafted him and what position he was supposed to play, or if he's been hitting balls in his off season so that I don't know if he even plays a position where you're supposed to hit, but he needs to go play baseball.
Yes.
Even if he goes plays AAA baseball, I think he'll be more happy.
Yeah.
Their positives are fun, in my opinion. I think that they have already wrapped up the number 1 pick, so that's good. That's a positive. And their best news, J.J. Watt retired. This son of a gun who likes to just play to the media and for the cameras. And I can't stand J.J. Watt. He's maybe my least favorite NFL player of the past 10 years. I cannot stand him, but he's gone. The bad man is gone. We don't have to deal with JJ anymore. It's great.
He's living somewhere in Wisconsin, just chilling.
Nah, he's going and living in England. He owns
right.
Burnley Football
City.
Club now.
Or Burnley.
He owns
Tom
Burnley.
Birmingham City.
Yeah. So don't have to worry about JJ Watt anymore, and I love it.
What's their over-under? I'm taking the under.
4.5.
That's what I was gonna say too.
I don't think that they can win 2. I think they might not even win 1. I don't know, but I'm taking the under as well.
They might go completely defeated.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem is that this was a snake line to me because they are clearly the worst team in football, and 4.5 seems high.
You'd like to think an NFL team could luck into a couple.
You look at the last 5 years, though, the team that has the number 1 pick,
3 wins,
3 or less.
Yeah.
So that's giving them a whole extra game of 4 is still the under.
Yeah, well, I'll take the under on that one.
So there's something fishy there that Vegas knows that we don't.
Honestly, I'd like to see him go completely defeated.
Actually, yeah, I would love to see a team go 0-17. I'm gonna see. Do you think? Is FanDuel gonna tell me the percentages? That's what I want to know. I want to know what percent has them taking the under right now, because it's gonna be at 100%, and I need to.
I am in a legal betting state right now.
It doesn't have it. It doesn't tell me the percentages. That's a bummer. All right. Well, Blake's looking that up. We're gonna transition to the Super Bowl winning division, the AFC West, which I will guarantee you does not win the Super Bowl this year. None of the 4 teams from the AFC West will win the Super Bowl, which is very sad. But at least I got this flag for this year. All right. Let's talk about the previous Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. We've already touched on it. Their biggest question this year is the Chris Jones conundrum. Can they get him signed? Because if Chris Jones doesn't play for the Chiefs, their defense is absolute horse crap. They're terrible. There's really not much to talk about the Chiefs. Their biggest positive, they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid put together, which is really, really good. Their biggest negative is exactly their biggest negative from last year. Their wide receivers and their defensive backs. Although somehow the Chiefs won the Super Bowl playing 5 rookies at defensive back. Probably never been done before. I haven't looked up that stat, but it sounds right. This year, I meant to look this up before the podcast. Hold on. I know that Shane is off camera and Blake is doing.
I can find it. It's on there. They don't tell you that.
It's fine.
I can tell you that more of the public is taking the under because they're at minus 120 versus minus 105 probably.
For sure.
The over's minus 105.
Bump. Okay. Let me do some math.
What are we at?
Currently, we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. We're talking about their downsides. How many NFL touchdowns do the Kansas City Chiefs current receiving core have in the NFL?
They lost Juju, correct?
No, I will tell you their names: Justin Watson, Sky Moore, Ivan Toney, Rashee Rice, Justin Ross.
I think
Well.
only 2 of those dudes have scored touchdowns, so I'm going to go with 3.
3 of them have scored touchdowns because
Oh,
2 of them scored touchdowns in the Super Bowl last year. The answer is 6. If you count just the wide receivers, they have only caught a total of 6 touchdowns in the NFL. Now,
Dude, I thought I was being rude at 12.
nah, you throw Travis Kelce in the mix, there's a lot of touchdowns in there. But Justin Watson has 4 career touchdowns. Sky Moore caught his first touchdown in the Super Bowl last year. Oh, shoot, it's 7. Ivan Toney scored his first touchdown in the playoffs and then scored a second touchdown in the Super Bowl. And then Justin Ross has never played a regular season snap, and Rashee Rice is a rookie. So, and people are talking like the Chiefs are supposed to be great. Like, if Patrick Mahomes carries these receivers even to the playoffs,
Oh, whoa.
like, first ballot Hall of Famer automatically. Like, these guys are not good.
Him and Travis Kelce can get to the playoffs.
I tend to be at the point where I'm not going to doubt them.
No, man. If you're a defensive coordinator and Travis Kelce is not doubled on every single play, you should be fired immediately.
Oh, yes, he's going to be doubled.
Justin Watson, but they won't do it on every play. Justin Watson will have his big play every once in a while because he's got some speed. Sure. He might beat you once every 4 games. But all these, just like there is so little talent in the receiver room from the Chiefs. Like, it's a big deal.
Dude, if he beats you long once a game, you're still feeling like you're doing okay.
The funny part is everyone said that last year, and I don't hear a whole lot of people saying it this year.
I know, but like Juju is still a good receiver. Like if you compare the levels of Juju compared to Justin Watson, like it's a huge gap.
It's just funny that nobody's saying it this year.
Yeah, I just because they won the Super Bowl, so everyone's like, oh, they're gonna be great again.
I think
they're all scared because last year they all said that the Chiefs were gonna suck and then they won the Super Bowl, so they're all terrified.
I think some of it also has to do with people doubted Tom Brady for so many years that they don't want to be on the wrong side of history again.
Tom Brady had a really good defense a lot and offensive line, and one of the greatest coaches of all time.
I agree, but I just think that kind of plays part in these people's minds.
But I mean, like the Chiefs defense could be really bad. It could be. I mean, we got every single defensive back is going into their sophomore year, if you want to call it that, and that's not a good place to be.
Hey, the first 25 years of my life, if you or Barry Williamson told me the Chiefs were going to suck, I would have said, yeah, all right, I'm going to take y'all on it. But the past 5 years, I've been gone otherwise.
You know what? That is fair. And I do not think that they are going to suck. I do think that they are my guaranteed under pick for the year on their over.
What are they at? 12?
11.5. I think they are my guaranteed under pick.
Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
12.5. That's high.
11.5. Unless
that is high.
I looked at this a while ago. Let me double check. I think they're still at 11. 11.5, winning 12 games.
That's still high.
I mean, you look at this year's AFC. I mean, it's 11.5. But I mean, you look at the AFC. Here is their schedule. They play the Detroit Lions, who technically had the number 1 offense in football last year. So they could be good. But they're the Lions. So let's say that's a win. They play the Jaguars in Jacksonville, a playoff team from last year. They play the Bears, who suck. They have to play at the Jets, who are who could be the best team ever. They could also be terrible. Who knows? At the Vikings, the Chiefs should beat the Vikings, but the Chiefs defense has shown them they cannot cover a player like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. They got to play the Broncos.
Who knows?
Who knows? Their defense is very good. They got to play the Chargers. Who knows?
Brandon Staley, who knows?
We're going to talk about them in a second. They got to play the Broncos again. They play the Broncos 2 times in 3 weeks. So, like, if the Chiefs or the Broncos have an injury and they play each other so close, like, let's say Travis Kelce is injured and they played their division rivals twice in 3 weeks, like, that's huge. I don't know why the NFL does the scheduling that they do. It's terrible. They have to play the Dolphins, the Eagles, the Bills.
Yeah, they have a tough schedule.
They won the Super Bowl. The Raiders, the Packers, the Patriots. All right, whatever. And then they finish the year with the Raiders, the Bengals, and the Chargers. I mean, like,
you're feeling good about 10 wins. I mean,
yeah, if they win 10 games, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah,
I just don't see how they make it to 12. But that being said, Mahomes, I don't think it's ever lost or never.
It's hard.
I think he's won 12 games every year. That's the thing. I mean, if he makes it to 12 wins and hits the over, I will be astounded, blown away.
Because 10 wins seems like a good and you're with 10 wins, you're making the playoffs.
I mean, if they make the playoffs this year, I'm thrilled.
Oh, they're making the playoffs.
Dude, no, we are like legitimately now in a rebuilding year. I know that like last year we made all the jokes about us being in a rebuilding year. We are in a legitimate rebuilding. We do not have more than 10 touchdowns out of our receiver core. That's bad.
I still think you make the playoffs because if you win 10 games, you're making the playoffs, even as a wild card.
Oh, that wild card in the AFC is going to be so intense this year.
It's going to,
good teams.
It's going to suck, but you're going to make the playoffs. I'm going to take the under, but because I think you win 10.
I would never put money on it because I don't.
No, heck no.
No, this is my lock of the year. This is my under lock of the year.
I wouldn't touch that with.
I feel like
any.
I would like to go through and look at all the stats of how many times did the Super Bowl champion hit the under in their win total the next year. I bet it's high.
Recently, it's probably been a lot because the Rams.
I mean, the Rams, that was easy.
The Bucks.
I bet it's high.
Yeah,
just because, right? It's not based off how many wins that Vegas thinks they will actually win. It's how the public thinks that they will win, and they're great at judging the public.
Yep. And the Super Bowl champs get murderers row. I mean, that's just.
Let's fly through the rest of the AFC West because they're all dog crap anyway. The Raiders, they suck. Jimmy G sucks.
Yeah, they're going to be bad. I think.
They're going to be bad. Good news, Devontae Adams still very good at football.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the only hope you have is that the McDaniels Jimmy G partnership works out.
I still don't. Jimmy G's bound to get hurt at some point.
I think Derek Carr is about Jimmy G, if not better. So, like, how much better could you be with Jimmy G instead of Derek Carr?
I definitely think that Derek Carr is better than Jimmy G. Also, the Raiders also have just a brutal schedule because the AFC West has to play the AFC East, right? So they got to play the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jets. And then I think we also both play the NFC North, which may or may not be good.
8.5?
Oh, lower, 6.5.
Oh,
I would take the over on that probably.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just
6.5 is not much. 7 wins.
Yeah, but if Jimmy G gets hurt week 2 or 3, who's their backup?
I'm taking the under.
7 is not a lot, I don't think.
I'm going to take them at 6 wins.
Let's just put it this way: if I'm putting actual money on it, I'm not touching the AFC West.
No, heck no.
Oh, there are a couple teams I'm taking.
Well, the Chargers, depending on what the Chargers over is.
I will never, ever, ever bet on anything with the Los Angeles Chargers ever again. All right. The Denver Broncos here's their thing. There's no way Russell Wilson sucks again. There's no way.
I agree.
I think
There's no way.
I think
once
he
again,
sucks.
wouldn't
I think
touch him
he
with a
sucks.
10-foot pole. Wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole because he was so bad last year.
But their defense is so good.
But he was so bad.
I still think Russell. I love Sean Payton. Sean Payton, second greatest coach in NFL history.
No, that was awful. That was
but-
a terrible take.
No,
He won one Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl.
Exactly, the best. He won the most important Super Bowl. But
We'll ignore that take.
Yeah, that was bad.
But I don't think Russell Wilson is fixable. I think he is.
I think he's fixable.
I think he's too in his head. He's too bizarre.
I just think he has to be mediocre. I'm not saying he's going to be MVP level again. If he is mediocre, the Broncos will win a ton of football games.
I honestly don't think he can be mediocre. I think he is.
He'll be mediocre.
Dead.
I think that plane ride to London last year just messed him up.
We got Sean Payton coming back, which Sean Payton is actually their biggest positive and their biggest negative.
Agreed with that.
Because
Team 12 or whatever their names are, Team 3, Team 33, they aren't allowed in the building, so that's going to hurt.
But Sean Payton, the downside, Sean Payton's going to do something illegal again to where he's going to get suspended or something. I mean, that's just what Sean Payton does. Sean Payton likes to just,
he'll bring Greg Roman in. He'll bring Greg Roman in and it'll all work out great.
He's too much of a hardo.
I mean, Sean Payton, Shane, to ruin your argument, Sean Payton can't go down as the second best coach of all time because he had a movie made about him where Kevin James played him in the movie.
That's a tough look.
That is immediate disqualification.
Hey, if I was Sean Payton, I'd be like, Netflix, you got to do something better than that.
Yes, if I was Sean Payton, I'd be like, there's no way you're letting this Paul Blart mall cop play me as.
Let me just say something about Hollywood. You can have a mediocre-looking guy that you make a movie about, but you have to pick a guy that looks better than him to play the part. Sean Payton, they did the exact opposite.
Yeah, you can't have Fatso McGee at Krispy Kreme playing Sean Payton.
Sean Payton's not a big guy.
No, he's not. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, he is in shape.
Yeah.
Also, is he younger? I mean, he looks younger than Kevin James. I guess not. Sure Sean Payton's got some age in his face.
Also, you can't see a movie with Kevin James and be like, this is a serious movie.
Yeah,
that's my point. That's my point. Sean Payton is known for paying players to take off the heads of other people, and then we got Kevin James. Oh, that's great. So yeah,
that's like Will Ferrell. That's like having Will Ferrell play. What did he have a serious movie recently? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
there's a serious movie. It's like you walk in and you automatically think you should be laughing.
Yeah, there's a 49% chance that Sean Payton will be back at Fox because he got fired or suspended again for doing something illegal. Which you know what? Not a huge fan that Sean Payton is now going to play
Sean
my
Payton's
quarterback
still
twice.
My guy.
Dude, I guarantee you that Patrick Mahomes is going to come out with some major injury playing the Broncos. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be paid.
All right, let's talk about everyone's favorite. Oh, sorry, we didn't do over-under. My bad. Over-under for the Denver Broncos. Same as some other. They're tricky over there in Vegas. Are they going to have a winning season or a losing season? 8.5.
Under. Ooh.
Yeah, I think they win 8 games. And I think they should be proud if they win 8 games.
Now we got to have some positivity. We've been nothing but unders on this podcast, which Blake Stachkowski is very firm against the under. I'm taking the over. I got some positivity in the Denver Broncos. Hey, I hope I'm incorrect.
Don't you, if you're the Broncos and you win even 8 games, isn't that a success?
No, you got Sean Payton now. You're Super Bowl contenders.
Okay, no.
Sean Payton plus Russell Wilson plus that defense.
Mr. Walmart can't be that stupid.
Although I will say, I didn't pay attention to this. They lost 2 receivers during preseason for the year, right?
Oh, shoot. I don't know.
Right? Didn't Cortland Sutton pick up a huge injury?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
One of them had cancer and they cut him.
Yeah. So I did say over. You know what? I'm sticking. Sean Payton's a good coach. I'm still giving the over.
Maybe if
but
Sean
that's a
paying
big deal.
His guys to hurt his own players.
Cortland Sutton's. I think it was just like a freak non-contact injury.
Didn't one of them have cancer and they're just like, yeah, we cut him?
Yeah, it's possible.
That is the most Sean Payton thing I've ever heard in my life.
You know what? Hey, I would no. It's a non-football injury kind of thing where it's just you gotta cut the guy, right? I mean,
Yeah, but you still gotta pay him. You still gotta give him some money, right? If it's cancer, like you gotta.
I'm sure that there is a way, like when you cut somebody, that they're still guaranteed so much of their contract and all. I mean, you can't, or else there's no point in having contracts if the owners can just cut you whenever they want.
No, but if it's who was the player that got hurt and played for the Bills, hurt in the Jets?
KJ Hamler had a heart condition. They just cut him.
Yeah.
See,
which
but
is fair. We don't need to have a player die on the field again this year.
No, especially not while we're live streaming. That is not good.
We were not live streaming, but we were recording. You know what? We'll have to talk about what nights we record on and things like that. I think we could do some live streams and things every once in a while.
We don't have a good record at this thus far.
Oh, that's great. It was so great.
Game we recorded during a dude died on the field.
But they brought him back.
We're all sitting there going, "What? What?"
It was the feel-good story of the year. They brought him back.
He will be the comeback player of the year for sure.
Oh, he's already guaranteed. Yeah. He could give up a touchdown on every pass this year, and he is still the comeback player of the year.
What is there Vegas odds for the comeback player of the year?
Oh, it's probably minus 10,000 for DeMar Hamlin. Rightfully so. He did die on the field.
Yeah.
Some are still saying that's not really him, but we'll find out.
No, it's what's that? Not LL Cool J. What's that dude's name?
Well, if he gives up 10 touchdowns in one game, well, no, that's not really him.
Yeah, it'll be like a Remember Titans thing.
All right, hey,
throw the ball, Mom.
DeMar Hamlin. DeMar Hamlin is minus 350 right now.
That's actually better.
Only minus 350.
He's minus 350.
Hey, if you have 10 grand to bet, that might be worth betting it.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know, man. I mean, I know he's a good story, you know.
Oh, he's winning comeback player of the year.
No chance.
But he plays a position that just like, I mean, you look at the other guys. Tua.
To be fair, I'd never heard of DeMar Hamlin until that happened.
Until he died.
I like the odds of this. I like the odds of the third pick because
Russell Wilson.
He's fifth. John Mechie.
Oh, Mechie had cancer. You're right.
Like he didn't play his whole rookie season. I don't even know who he plays for.
Is Henry
Ruggs
Texans?
On there? I mean, he could be good. No, Henry Ruggs is still in prison. Also, so you can get John Mechie at plus 2,000.
That's actually good odds.
You can get Breece Hall at plus 2,500. Like, I mean, there's some, but also like DeMar Hamlin died on the field, so that's rough. That's rough.
That's tough.
It's a tough market.
That is tough.
It's tough.
All right, let's wrap up with everyone's favorite team to talk about because they're just so awful at everything. It's so fun. The Los Angeles Chargers.
We're gonna have a new segment this year.
Will you just like look at the script one time and not get ahead of me, please? The question is, does Justin Herbert deserve the money?
No.
Oh, this is the year the Chargers figure it out.
No way.
Brandon Staley doesn't do boneheaded stuff.
Kellen Mond,
he needs to hire a control coach up in the booth to tell him what to do on certain things.
It was Kellen Moore, Shane.
Kellen Moore, yeah.
Kellen Moore is the second best offensive coordinator in football.
Nope.
This is the year the Chargers figure it out.
I hope not. I love watching them fail I hate all the AFC West teams, obviously, except for the Chiefs. Clearly, I am biased. It's just so entertaining, though, because everyone every year is like, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Justin Herbert is the best quarterback in the NFL. And then you just watch him collapse, and it's hilarious.
So the reason I think they figured it out is because I hear nobody talking about them at all this year, which is much different than years past. Herbert signs the big contract.
There has been plenty of talk about the Los Angeles Chargers.
I don't think I've heard anything. But they signed the big contract. Nobody's talking about them. This is the year they finally put something together. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. They might win a playoff game.
What have you been saying, Austin? What's each team's biggest negative? We know who the biggest negative on the Los Angeles Chargers is.
Oh, it's Brandon Staley. I love it.
Brandon Staley. He is the biggest negative.
Literally
I
on
see him
the
sitting on the
script, it
sideline
literally
with his
just
dang-
says Staley is a moron. That's what it
He
says.
has his call card.
And it's gonna stay there all year.
This is what he does all the time.
Oh yeah, you gotta do the
It's like, dude,
Oh, it's
just call
fourth
a
and
timeout.
8.
There's 4 seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
We have 3 timeouts. Just call a timeout.
It's 4th and 8 on our own 25. We're gonna go for it.
Hey, while we're talking about the Brandon Staleys of the world, Mike McDaniel is now doing cameos. Like, what do we got going on? Like,
What?
just from Mike McDaniel decided to record a video for a different podcast because a guy came.
Yeah,
up
that
with
was
it.
electric.
It was electric, but this guy is a head coach. These are why these coaches are not good.
He was doing it for a fellow Dolphins fan.
No, I understand that, but the reason why they're not good is because they are paying attention to sports media. Like, the Brandon Staleys and the Mike McDaniels, they're watching Sports Center 24/7.
Do not compare Mike McDaniel and Brandon Staley.
Why? They do the same thing. Really?
No.
Hey, did Mike
Has Brandon
McDaniel
Staley ever vaped on the sideline?
Has Brandon Staley ever put his franchise quarterback out on the field while he has a concussion so he can get another one?
Doctor. That's the doctor's fault. That's the independent NFL guy.
Mike McDaniel's a dog. He's got Tua doing jujitsu now.
Yeah, to learn how to fall.
All right, let's get back on track. The Chargers over under 9.5.
Over. Oh, 9.5? That's my lock of the year. Over. That's my lock of the year. Over.
I have them as my over, and I have them that they are going to win the AFC West. I think that they also figure it out.
I knew I wasn't crazy.
All right, let's go back to our boy Brandon Staley and our boy Mike McDaniel.
Stupid.
Y'all are going.
Stupid.
Hey, no, I mean, come on, they're going to have a winning season. They're going to be fine. We have a new award here on the Football is King podcast. Now, it is named after our favorite sports stooge, Brandon Staley. It's called the Staley Coaching Malpractice Award. However, that does not mean that it is only for Brandon Staley. We will be following all of the stupid coaches, the Mike McDaniels of the world, and all of their stupidity throughout the year. And whoever has the most number of coaching malpractices will win the first annual Brandon Staley Coaching Malpractice Award at the end of the season. So we're going to keep track of coaching
The Dallas Cowboys might be
I
the running.
think Mike McDaniel might have an early lead for that one.
Big Mike, our boy Big Mike, is also on the list of coaches to watch.
Rest in peace, Zeke.
What do you mean? He's going to go win a Super Bowl with Bill Belichick.
No, rest
now.
in peace because that hit he took in the last play of the season last year.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
for sure.
If we had an heading line for this, Mike McCarthy and Brandon Staley would probably be both.
Oh no, Brandon Staley is at minus 5,000. It's not close. Like, there's a reason why the award is named after him. Like, it's not.
Usually do it after like a person that's not in the league anymore. Maybe like
no, but you know what? He's
Mike
so good at
whatever it is.
He's so good at it that we had to put him as the title of it. So yeah, that's gonna be the
Terry Bradshaw Scumbag of the Year award.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Brandon Staley can win his own award though. That's awesome.
We're going to keep track of that. And you know what? I hope that Brandon Staley does win the inaugural Brandon Staley Coaching Malpractice of the Year award. Because that means the Chargers will suck. So
he's going to win it.
We will keep track. Shane watched their most recent preseason football game, and he already put it at 3, but preseason doesn't count. You know what? The coaches also got to get out the bad. They got to, you know what? They're just trying new things.
Hey, the problem
We'll
is
see how it goes.
when the same thing happens during the regular season into the playoffs, it doesn't matter preseason or not because it's just an accumulation of crap. That's all that matters.
I will say we will have to have a discussion about that. Does this award go into the playoffs as well? Because then, like, some coaches might have.
This is a regular season.
This
award.
might have to be a regular season, and then we might have to assign a postseason award as well. We'll have to get.
Because what if
we'll have to play it by ear.
If one coach is just really bad and makes their team win like 2 games, they might be the like.
It's like
Nathaniel
the MVP.
Hackett. He coached for 6 games. He deserved the malpractice.
Oh, for
coaching.
sure. Worst coach of all time, apparently.
Yeah, according to Sean Payton.
Currently, right now, Sean Payton is winning for actually breaking the coach's bro code and throwing Nathaniel Hackett under the bus. But yeah, like we might get into like postseason scenarios to where like Kirk Cousins actually wins the award for throwing the ball 5 yards short on 4th and 8.
No,
like,
if we go into
there's just all sorts
postseason, we know who's winning it in the postseason. It's Mike McCarthy. It's a lock.
I'm just
That
saying.
last play, he deserves it just for that last play. I don't care if he called it or not.
This is like an MVP award. It's as prestigious, but it's regular season.
2 years in a row.
So I think it's probably like the most exciting thing that we've got going for us this year. I mean, it's fun to do the bets every week between us. That's a fun thing to do, but I think people are going to look in, and I think the plan is going to be that this is actually how we're going to start the show. We're going to start the show with some really good energy of the Brandon Staley coaching malpractice tracker for the year.
I like it. I love it.
Keep your eyes on Kevin O'Connell from the Minnesota Vikings as well.
Yeah, he's got good potential.
I think he's a sleeper for the win this year because I don't think that they're going to win that many games after they got lucky last year. All right, let's wrap it up.
Dennis Allen could be up.
Dennis Allen is up there as well. Yeah, we got some good head coaches to keep an eye on. We're going to wrap up our second to last preseason podcast for this year. We're going to wrap up our Madden ratings. Now, this is the segment that I do wish that Jonathan was here for because it's going to get fun. We're going to talk solely about the quarterbacks, and we are expanding. We've been talking about the top 3 people at each position. We're going to expand the quarterbacks to the top 10. And I want everyone to tell me, I'm going to start at 1 and start counting down. And you tell me when you have your first issue.
Okay.
All right. And then we're going to go through the top 10 and then we can have just a frank discussion. But I want to know, when is everyone's first issue? Number 1, Patrick Mahomes.
I bet I'm about to have an issue.
Number 2, Joe Burrow.
Okay.
Number 3,
Here's
cover star Josh Allen.
Depends on who number 4 is.
Number 4, Lamar Jackson.
Issue.
That's my issue as well. But I think it gets better as well.
Who's number 5?
Jalen Hurts.
Issue.
I agree that I think Lamar Jackson is better than Jalen Hurts.
But I don't know that Jalen Hurts is number 5.
No. I also disagree that Jalen Hurts is number 5. But I just wanted to know where our first issue was.
Where's Aaron Rodgers in this whole situation?
Number 6.
Okay, I
Dak Prescott.
Oh,
what?
My gosh. Disagree as a Cowboys fan.
Dak Prescott is ranked number 6 in Madden 24.
Have we forgot about Aaron Rodgers?
Number 7, Justin Herbert.
Okay.
I
have an issue with all these.
I think that Justin Herbert should be number 4.
Herbert should be above Prescott for sure.
Yeah.
Probably above Jalen Hurts.
I think he's better than Jalen Hurts, and I also think that he is better than Lamar Jackson.
Aaron Rodgers should be number 3.
Where's Aaron Rodgers?
No.
The only thing with Lamar,
give me Josh Allen above Aaron Rodgers right now.
They're obviously putting a huge emphasis on running the ball.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So you got to think about, right? It takes into the overall rating of like, hey, also like if you have, I don't know if y'all have played Madden recently, but if you have a quarterback who cannot move, your offense just sucks. Because if like they break the pocket at all, like you're gonna get sacked every time. So yes, that's clearly what is happening. Aaron Rodgers is number 8.
If Aaron Rodgers was on the Eagles, they win 17 games.
If Aaron Rodgers is on the Eagles or Patrick Mahomes, they're undefeated.
They win 17 games.
I think if Lamar Jackson was on the Eagles last year with their schedule, that they were undefeated if he's healthy.
No.
Yes. Dude, if you take Lamar Jackson in that power run option offense, oh my gosh. All right, but moving on. Aaron Rodgers, number 8. Kirk Cousins, number 9.
I'm
I
not
got no problem. I think Kirk Cousins is probably top 10 QB.
And wrapping it all up at number 10, Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh my god!
I have no problem with the QBR leader being a top 10 QB.
So
No
the
problem.
question is,
I'd rather have Brock Purdy as number 10.
who was left out?
Brock Purdy.
All right, no, you're insane.
Hey, he led his team.
You're
To-
insane. Stop. Just stop. You're wrong. You know you're wrong.
I mean, I legitimately think like Derek Carr could probably be.
Yeah.
somewhere in
All
there.
right. So here are the ones that. All right. So I'm just gonna start reading, from here on out, and you just tell me if you think that they could replace someone in the top 10. I think number 11, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
He's still.
I'll take him over Tua Tagovailoa
Yeah,
every
I
day of
will
the week.
too.
I don't
Yeah.
disagree, but he's only done it. He's played well for about 10 games.
I will also take him over Kirk Cousins every day of the week.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about Kurt.
Give me Trevor Lawrence with Justin Jefferson for sure.
I don't
For
disagree
sure.
necessarily, but I still think that Kirk is more proven than Trevor Lawrence is.
I mean, he's more proven, sure. I'm just telling you who I think is the best quarterbacks in the league. Number 12 is Geno.
Oh,
That's
shit.
crazy.
13, Jared Goff.
No.
I don't agree with that.
14, permanently injured Kyler Murray.
Well, I definitely don't agree with that.
No.
15, Deshaun Watson.
Where is Derek Carr on this list? Of
Derek
God.
Carr comes in at number 16, which I think is super disrespectful.
Yeah.
Derek
I'd
Carr
rather
is a
Derek Carr over
Derek
Tua.
Carr is a great quarterback who has just played. He has never played with a defense, and this year he is going to, which is why we all said that the Saints are going over. 17, Jimmy Garoppolo. Now here's my favorite one. Russell Wilson is at 18. They buried Russell Wilson.
That's probably a bit disrespectful as well.
It's probably fair though.
And then it goes your, lower tier quarterback. Justin Fields, Ryan Tannehill,
That's
Daniel
fine.
Jones. At number 22, Super Bowl winning quarterback Matthew Stafford.
That's just
Wow.
got to be based on his age, I feel like.
Matthew Stafford, I mean, he's the same age as or close to like Russell Wilson.
Yeah, but I feel like
Yeah, how
Stafford
did
gets injured easy.
Russell
No,
Wilson.
Stafford took an absolute beating with the Lions. For
Exactly.
10
Yeah,
years.
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
did.
with the Rams last year. But like, here's the thing that drives me crazy. Matthew Stafford, actually, when you look at arm talent,
He's
right?
good.
Look at the year that they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, I
When he had a good team and a good offensive line, he is arm talent, not total talent. Arm talent
Electric.
is the same as Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
He's got the big arm. He does the no looks. He is accurate, all of those things. The disrespect that Madden gave him this year, his rating for the game is a 75.
Oh.
His potential growth is only to a 77.
Oh, okay. That's
Like,
disrespectful.
I mean,
I mean,
whatever.
that's got to just be based on injuries and stuff. He's just getting
Yeah.
beat the hell up.
Russell Wilson's potential is up to an 86. I mean, it's
that's
just insane.
disrespectful.
Then you go to Mac Jones. Bryce Young is up there. Bryce Young has more potential than Matthew Stafford, according to the game. Brock Purdy,
that's
CJ Stroud. You get to like all the rookies and things. And so it goes from that. Trey Lance is also not. He's before number 32, in case anyone was wondering. He's number 30. Yeah, Trey Lance is number 31.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's the last starting QB?
Oh, I mean, that's hard because like they have like Jacoby Brissett at 28, who is not going to start. Sam Howell is the starter. Sam Howell is ranked number 49.
Oh, this is disrespectful.
49. His starting QB is 49.
He's 49th overall with he has a 66 starting rating with a potential of 80.
I feel like we
Higher than Matt
can make
Stafford.
Madden so much better. We can make Madden so much better.
Man,
I've played
I've
Madden
seen,
in a decade.
everything I've seen from it too, like they were trying to make it. So they tried to put in like the FIFA engine called Frostbite or whatever that's supposed to make the players like it look more realistic, and everything that I've seen from it, it looks exactly the same.
Yeah,
like
I feel like they've struggled to make it they have to make it a different game every year, and they do not do it.
everything is still animations based. Where like it's all about. Sorry, excuse me. Like, hey, I'm AJ Brown and I'm gonna jump over you, but like it's like you'll see players teleport to catch the ball because it's based off of the animation, not off of like actual. I don't know. Madden struggles for me.
I haven't played
it in a while.
I haven't played Madden since the deep end at Hill Country Bible Church.
I bought Madden the last time the Chiefs won the Super Bowl because it was fun to play with them on Madden. But like, I don't know. I don't know if I'll buy it this year.
Just bring back. I want to be running drills as a college prospect.
I'm afraid of it though, because EA, the people who do Madden, are going to be the people who do the NCAA game. And I'm afraid it's going to suck.
Yeah, but do you remember when we were we used to sit around running 40-yard dashes?
NCAA 2007 is my favorite video game of all time.
Yeah, it's
favorite
great.
video game of all time. You play with Reggie Bush on NCAA 2007, and you just dominate.
Oh, Vince Young was freaking dominant on that game.
But he wasn't on 2007. He was on 2005.
You can create
Colt
your own
McCoy
player,
was on 2007.
Run the 40-yard dash, give him a sleeve. I was a dude with cornrows. Like, it's an electric deal.
And it would just be like, it'd be an exact replica of Vince Young. It'd be like number 5.
Yeah.
Number 10. Whatever.
Yeah. I think I used to do, I don't know why I was such a big Aaron Ross fan.
Oh, because he was so freaking fast.
Because he was so freaking fast. And so Aaron Ross played at the University of Texas.
Oh, shoot, that Aaron Ross.
But
Justin Ross played at Washington.
No, Justin Ross played at Clemson, but I know who you're talking about.
Whoever it was, yeah.
Yeah. But back in the day, like way back when, I always would play as a DB on NCAA 2007, like in the career mode version. And it was so easy that all you had to do was like, when they snapped the ball, was run the wrong direction and then turn around and sprint, and they would throw it to you. And I'd end up this season with like 25 picks and like 10 touchdowns or something. And then I'd also return punts. I would just put all of the like attributes in speed, and I would just outrun everybody. It was so great. It was so fun. I won the Heisman as a defensive back. It was fun. It was great. It was the best game ever.
I won the national championship in that game as A&M and Boise State. I mean, it was a good game.
I loved playing as Boise State back in the day.
The blue turf.
Yeah,
blue turf.
Blue turf. Yeah, I love it. Miss it.
I think I also won. I think I won the national championship with like the Washington Huskies in 2007. I mean, I just picked random teams. Like, all right, well, this game. I mean, I will say, like, when it comes to video games nowadays, it was definitely too easy. But you just had so much fun playing it. It doesn't matter that it was easy.
A good game.
Sometimes now games are just so like realistic and difficult that it's just like, hey man, let's like relax. Yeah, I'm just trying to have fun.
I want to take
while I have a 40-hour work week, which is really 50 hours, and like I get like 5 minutes per day to like, hey, let's throw on a video game here or something. So
I want to take a handoff back to my own half-yard line and then run back to the other end zone and score.
That's what you did when you played as Reggie Bush. You would go and you just like take the ball, run backwards, and then just go. It was great. All right. And that's going to do it this week for us on the Football is King podcast. EA Sports, please don't F up the next years of Madden and the college football game, whatever you're going to title it. I don't know. I think it comes back next year. So
no, I think it got delayed, I think.
See, I mean, they're already screwing it up. I mean, come on. But as always, please, I forgot to say it at the beginning of the show, and I know that no one is still listening at this point in time, but please like and subscribe and give us 5-star reviews on Spotify and whatever. We got plenty of content coming your way in the version of YouTube Shorts. So hopefully those blow up again and we get some more subscribers. Remember, our goal this year is to make it to 100 subscribers. We're already up 8, which is huge. I mean, what a great week we had here. So keep sharing with your friends.
Let's do it.
There we go. All right. We will see y'all next week. And next week we will be talking about legitimate football that mattered. So
Let's
get
go.
excited.